Chapter 628. Die. Eyes cold, Ling Xiao stared at Zhang Xuhao and unleashed a fist strike. Crack. Golden lightning streaked through the air, accompanied by a fist light that resembled a primeval true dragon. This was the true dragon fist, and it was filled with the will of a true dragon. This punch was like the weight of Mount Tai, like the sun in the sky. That terrifying aura made Zhang Xuhao's scalp go numb, and his eyes were filled with incomparable fear. "Save me," he shouted, fighting back and calling for help. "Don't be so arrogant, Ling Xiao," Sixth Holy Sun said, his eyes flickering with cold light. Then he produced a black pearl of lightning, which he sent flying toward Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao had been planning to take the lightning pearl head-on and kill Zhang Xuhao, but then he suddenly sensed a sensation of deadly crisis. Without even thinking about it, he teleported away, causing the pearl of lightning to explode. Rumble. Black lightning flashed across the sky, turning into a sea of lightning. It was extremely blazing. The surrounding rocks were struck by the lightning and instantly turned into ashes. Also, there was a deathly aura of the tomb that wrapped around Ling Xiao, as if it was a tarsal bone that was about to be torn apart. The black energy pierced through the air and enveloped Ling Xiao, turning him into a deadly poison that began to eat away at his fleshly body. That's corpse poison from the molted remains of god spirits. Even paragons would be seriously injured if they didn't die from it. "Let's see how you're going to survive this," the sixth saint roared. His face was filled with an extremely cold smile. However, a moment later, that smile froze in place. "Corpse poison from the molted remains of god spirits? It really is good stuff. Devour it for me." Ling Xiao shouted, and the King Heaven Devourer cauldron appeared, which devoured the black corpse poison, leaving nothing behind. There was nothing under heaven that the Heaven Devourer cauldron couldn't devour. If it weren't for the fact that Ling Xiao's cultivation base was still too low, he would have been able to devour even paragon items once he reached the paragon level. The Heaven Devourer sword slashed through the air, blocking the path of the God King Shroud and South Heaven Seal. Meanwhile, Ling Xiao was fighting against Zhang Xuhao, the South Heavenly King, and the sixth saint on his own. He unleashed his peerless power and completely dominated the three geniuses. Each of his punches was earth-shattering, utterly terrifying. "You're the first, Zhang Xuhao," Ling Xiao said, forcing Sixth Holy Sun and South Heaven Seal to retreat. Then he closed in on Zhang Xuhao, eyes flashing with killing intent. Ling Xiao's speed was extremely fast. In this kind of intense battle, Ling Xiao's comprehension of the secret art of teleportation grew deeper and deeper. In the end, his entire body seemed to have turned into an afterimage as he moved through the void. Ling Xiao said. "Ling Xiao, Zhenbao Pavilion will not let you go. Even if you kill me today, you will die for sure." Zhang Xuhao roared, his eyes filled with unwillingness. He tried his best to block, but he was unable to resist Ling Xiao's body of the heavenly dragon. Crack. Zhang Xuhao's arm was broken, and he coughed up a mouthful of blood as he was sent flying. Ling Xiao followed up with a palm strike, unleashing a terrifying Vajra palm that could shatter metal and crush stone. The magical symbols on Zhang Xuhao's chest exploded, and his battle armor shattered. Splat. Zhang Xuhao coughed up another mouthful of blood as he was sent flying like a rag doll, slamming into a nearby mountain. "You force my hand, Ling Xiao," he said. "Prepare to die." Zhang Xuhao howled, his eyes flashing with venomous hatred. The space between his eyebrows split open, and a seven-colored light spread out. A figure with white hair and beard was sitting inside. At this moment, he suddenly opened his eyes and raised his hand. The sky changed color and a seven-colored sword energy that was extremely bright slashed toward Ling Xiao. It was so dazzling that it seemed capable of cleaving heaven and earth apart, and contained a boundless and terrifying sword will. This was the strike of a supreme martial artist. It pressed forward with an indomitable will, a sword that could only kill, aiming straight for Ling Xiao's head. Zhang Xuhao was a genius of the Zhang clan, so it was only natural that a paragon would be able to plant a paragon's Dao mark on his forehead. By using that Dao mark, Zhang Xuhao had given up on any thoughts of escaping, and was determined to kill Ling Xiao. If Ling Xiao didn't die, then Zhang Xuhao would have no choice but to wait for his death. This was the attack of a supreme being. It was fast to the extreme, surrounded by 7-colored divine light. It carried the threat of death as it slashed towards Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao's eyes were solemn. It could be said that he was facing a true supreme being. Even if it was only one attack, it was extremely terrifying. If he couldn't withstand this attack, his fate could be imagined. "Bring it on!" he shouted, his eyes blazing with the desire to do battle. Drawing on the power of the King Heaven Devourer Cauldron, he unleashed a heaven-devouring, earth-devouring power that swallowed up the sword light. Rumble! The King Heaven Devourer Cauldron trembled violently, and countless magical symbols erupted from it, along with the terrifying might of a paragon. Normally speaking, Ling Xiao wouldn't take the risk of using the King Heaven Devourer Cauldron to absorb the sword light. After all, if the King Heaven Devourer Cauldron was destroyed, his cultivation base would be crippled. But the King Heaven Devourer Cauldron was based on the nine-tailed Heaven Fox's World Pearl. So Ling Xiao was confident that the cauldron would be able to absorb the sword light. Ruiyuumble. Cloud Heaven sent his cultivation base into the King Heaven Devourer Cauldron to help him assimilate the power of the sword. "This is our chance," Zhang Xuhao, the Holy Sun, and the South Heaven King said, their eyes glittering. Taking advantage of the fact that Ling Xiao was suppressing the Paragon's sword light, they made their moves. Rumble! Zhang Xuhao coughed up a mouthful of quintessence blood, and his eyes shone with madness as he used a secret magic to become one with the sword, which he slashed toward Ling Xiao. As for the Holy Sun, an enormous necropolis appeared behind him, looking like the tomb of a celestial emperor. It pulsed with an aura that seemed capable of burying heaven and earth, as well as extermination. This was a paragon's killing technique, and he was burning his quintessence blood to unleash it. As for the South Heaven King, a consummate saber appeared in his hand, pulsing with the power to slash anything and everything. It was a damaged paragon item, and it was clearly a weapon of some sort. All three of the top geniuses were unleashing their most terrifying attacks in the hopes of killing Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao had left a deep impression on them, and if they couldn't kill him now, they would live under his shadow for the rest of their lives, unable to progress any further. "You want to come at me together? Fine. Let's settle this in one blow." Chapter 629. Ruiyuumble. Ling Xiao crushed the Heaven Devourer Cauldron with one hand, then made a grasping motion with the other, causing heaven and earth to fall into his palm. Then he slammed it down toward his three opponents. Crack! Golden lightning flashed, and Zhang Xuhao was the fastest of the bunch. However, Ling Xiao didn't let him get away. Instead, he unleashed the power of the Devour Heavens, and extinguished the Earth's 7 limitations God art, causing heaven and earth to return to primal chaos. 4 Mammoths Heaven Striking Stance. 5 Phases Heaven Sealing Stance. 6 Daos Reincarnation Stance. With the 3 moves combined into one, Zhang Xuhao was instantly sent flying by Ling Xiao's palm. That blazing sword light only left a bloody mark on Ling Xiao's palm, and he was defeated. Behind Holy Sun 6, the great necropolis was crushed by Ling Xiao's attack. Last but not least, the Southern Sky King's peerless divine saber was smashed into smithereens by Ling Xiao's fist. Hush! All 3 of them coughed up mouthfuls of blood, and were sent tumbling backward, looks of disbelief on their faces. Just how strong was Ling Xiao? He had crushed the Heaven Devourer Cauldron with one hand, and then defeated the 3 of them with one hand. Rumble! A heaven-shaking, earth-shattering sound rang out from within the Heaven Devourer Cauldron, as if it were trying to rend heaven and earth. Then the cauldron stopped trembling, and began to shine with brilliant light. Just like that, Ling Xiao had neutralized the paragon attack left behind by the patriarch of the Zhang clan. Zhang Xuhao, Holy Sun 6th, and Holy Sun South Heaven King exchanged a glance, and their eyes flickered with terror as they began to contemplate fleeing. They suddenly realized that they couldn't kill Ling Xiao. In fact, they might even end up dying at his hands. "We still have a chance. Ling Xiao has to die." The 6th Holy Sun suddenly gritted his teeth, and a trace of blazing killing intent appeared in his eyes. He abruptly turned around to look at the black-robed old man who had followed him. However, his eyes widened in shock as he realized that the old man was gone. Ling Xiao had defeated 3 consummate geniuses with a single palm strike, and the Heaven Devourer cauldron had neutralized the Paragon attack. Therefore he breathed a sigh of relief. All of a sudden, a sensation of deadly crisis filled his heart. Ling Xiao didn't even think about it. He instantly executed a teleportation secret technique and teleported away. But it was too late. A light, ethereal palm print suddenly appeared in the air and landed heavily on Ling Xiao's back. Puff. Ling Xiao's face paled as if he had been struck by lightning. His organs began to churn, and a deathly aura surged wildly into his body. He suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood, and his aura instantly withered. Supreme Being. Ling Xiao's eyes widened as he saw a flash of light in the void. An old man in black robes walked out slowly. The black-robed old man had a tall stature. His complexion was rosy, and he looked dignified and mysterious. His eyes were incomparably deep and experienced, and the gaze he used to look at Ling Xiao was filled with unconcealable passion. Not bad, to be able to dodge 70% of my attack. You should be proud. The black-robed old man was none other than the person the sixth holy sun had brought with him. Inwardly he sighed in regret. He had purposely chosen the perfect moment to attack Ling Xiao, who had suppressed the Paragon attack and defeated the three consummate geniuses. If he had unleashed his full power, Ling Xiao's fleshly body would have been instantly destroyed, leaving behind only a nascent divinity that the old man could easily deal with. No, wait. You're not a supreme being. Supreme beings can't enter the sage ruins. You're just a dharma body of a supreme being. You were the one who ambushed me in Two World City. Weren't you? Haha. For me, Ling Xiao, Emperor Mausoleum Mountain actually sent a supreme being. What an honor. Ling Xiao sneered, his eyes filled with coldness. Ling Xiao was in an extremely bad state right now. The black-robed old man was Di Lin. He had once ambushed Ling Xiao in Two World City. This time his attack was vicious and merciless. Although it was only an autarka's avatar, and could at most unleash the power of an autark of the four symbols, he had sent a strand of autarka's origin energy into Ling Xiao's body. That stream of essence power contained deathly stillness and magical laws, and was rapidly destroying Ling Xiao's life force. Not even the King Heaven Devourer cauldron could fully absorb it. Ling Xiao sighed inwardly at how careless he had been. Although a supreme being dharma body was created by a supreme being, it contained the quintessence blood and nascent divinity power of the supreme being. If it was damaged, it would be a major blow to the supreme being. Ling Xiao had never imagined that Emperor Mausoleum Mountain would take him seriously enough to mobilize a dharma body. Don't waste time, boy. Be a good boy and let me soul search you. If you do, I'll give you a quick death. Otherwise, you won't be able to die even if you want to. Dylan chuckled, but didn't hesitate in the slightest. He could sense that Ling Xiao wasn't in a very good state. His supreme being essence power was destroying his fleshly body. What caused Dylan to sigh in amazement was that Ling Xiao's fleshly body was truly monstrous. It wasn't the slightest bit weaker than the legendary godlings, and was actually able to hold on. In fact, it was even absorbing the supreme being essence power. That was why Dylan had immediately used a killing move to completely destroy Ling Xiao's fleshly body. All he needed to do was get Ling Xiao's nascent divinity. Rumble. Dylan sent out another palm strike, filled with mysterious magical symbols that seemed to merge into heaven and earth. In the face of this palm strike, it was as though time itself had stopped, and the void had ceased to exist. It was as though time itself had passed, and time itself had become eternal. Ling Xiao's pupils constricted. He knew that Dylan was attacking with incredible speed. Supreme beings understood the magical laws of space, and to them, space was like an ocean. The deeper one's understanding of the magical laws of space, the better they were at swimming. This palm strike seemed to cause the space between Ling Xiao and Dylan to vanish. In the blink of an eye, it was right in front of Ling Xiao. Rumble. Ling Xiao also threw out a punch. His terrifying physical strength exploded, but he felt as if he had collided with a huge mountain. Ling Xiao's arm went numb, and he suddenly retreated. The supreme being, Zhou Tian, could be said to have tempered his fleshly body with the magical laws of heaven and earth. Every move he made contained the power of magical laws. Although Ling Xiao's body of the heavenly dragon was strong, it wasn't strong enough to suppress the magical laws of heaven and earth. Therefore, even though Ling Xiao's physical body was unparalleled, he was severely injured, and the sky-devouring sword was still resisting the two Supreme Being weapons. He actually had no way to fight against Dylan. After all, the difference between them was too great. Ling Xiao was only at the 10th level of the noble realm. Although Dylan only had a Supreme Being Dharma body, he was comparable to a half-step Supreme Being who had undergone the tribulation of 4 symbols. Chapter 630. Whoosh. Dylan moved like a ghost, instantly appearing next to Ling Xiao and slamming his palm towards Ling Xiao's chest. Give up. You might be strong, but you're no match for me. Dylan's voice was calm and ethereal, as though he was talking to an ant. His voice carried a very casual feeling. A paragon Dharma body? Zhang Xuhao and the South Sky King were both shocked and delighted. They were happy that Ling Xiao was finally going to die. With a paragon Dharma body, Ling Xiao had no chance. But they were shocked that Emperor Tomb Mountain valued Ling Xiao so much that they were willing to use a paragon Dharma body to kill him. It seemed that Emperor Tomb Mountain really believed that Ling Xiao had the legacy of the Scarlet Dragon War God. Zhang Xuhao and the South Sky King's eyes flashed, but in the end, they gave up with bitter smiles. With a paragon Dharma body, they were probably just making a wedding dress for Emperor Tomb Mountain. Ling Xiao's battle against Dylan had put him in a very dangerous situation. Within Ling Xiao's body, Dylan's paragon Dharma body contained a deathly aura that could devour all life. Although Ling Xiao used the King Heaven Devourer cauldron to refine it, he was unable to do so. And although Dylan only had a paragon Dharma body, when he attacked, there was a terrifying power of law. Ling Xiao's powerful body lost all advantages in front of Dylan. Boom. Ling Xiao's eyes were filled with battle intent. He suppressed his injuries while fighting Dylan fiercely. So what if he had a paragon Dharma body? As long as he wasn't a true paragon, he wasn't invincible. For the first time, Ling Xiao felt like he was walking on the edge of life and death. It was carefree, and it gave him a deeper understanding of the divine abilities he had learned. The void trembled, and the roar of a dragon filled the air. Ling Xiao punched out, colliding with Dylan's fist. His body flew backwards, his arm numb from the impact. Kid, don't struggle for no reason. You don't have a chance, Dylan said calmly. But in his heart he was somewhat shaken. Although Ling Xiao wasn't a match for him, he was extremely talented in battle. He had an unyielding will to fight, and he was very good at learning through battle. Dylan felt a sense of urgency. He had to take Ling Xiao down as soon as possible. Kill. Ling Xiao only replied with a single word. Roar. Ling Xiao soared into the skies, activating the power of the celestial dragon's body. His entire body blazed with golden light, and one mysterious draconic scale after another spread out. He transformed into an enormous golden dragon that was 30,000 meters long, charging towards Di Lin. You're courting death. A cold light flashed through Di Lin's eyes. His palm slammed down towards Ling Xiao. This palm blotted out the skies, as though the heavens and earth were about to collapse. Heaven and earth were about to be turned upside down, and the sun and moon lost their light. It contained the power of thunder. Sky-throwing seal. This is my Emperor Tomb Mountain's supreme killing technique. Ling Xiao is dead for sure. The sixth saint's eyes lit up as he exclaimed emotionally. The legendary cataclysmic seal was evolved from the ancient divine weapon, the cataclysmic seal. It contained an earth-shattering power. This was the peerless divine ability which Dylan was most proud of. Even in a battle against autarchs, this heaven-flipping seal technique wasn't inferior in any way. Rumble. The heavens and earth shook, and a dragon's roar shook the heavens. A vast draconic aura exploded outwards. The enormous golden dragon and the cataclysmic seal battled fiercely. However, the cataclysmic seal's divine ability was too terrifying. In the end, the enormous golden dragon was shattered. Ling Xiao fell from the skies. Blood flowed from the corners of his mouth, and his aura was incomparably weak. However, his eyes were unprecedentedly bright. Facing Di Lin, who was charging towards him with the devouring seal, Ling Xiao's entire body shone with resplendent light. The devouring true fire instantly rose up. The surrounding heavens and earth actually began to burn with raging flames. Within the endless sea of flames, Ling Xiao seemed to have transformed into a phoenix bathed in golden flames. He was enveloped in multicolored light, and a profound concept of life and death emanated outwards. True Phoenix Nirvana Technique. With my tribulation body, I won't enter the cycle of reincarnation. Won't be tainted by life and death. I'll break through the heavens and return to battle the heavens once more. Ling Xiao chanted softly. His entire body seemed to be enveloped by a layer of divine light. Under the raging flames, his entire body began to burn. Chirp. Phoenix cries filled the heavens. A true phoenix was born. This was the first time Ling Xiao had used the True Phoenix secret technique. Using the devouring true fire, he used the Nirvana technique. Instantly his body, including the Autarka's source energy within his body, as well as his wounded meridians, all began to burn. However, this burning wasn't destruction. Instead, it was a form of rebirth. Ling Xiao's life source energy became even more majestic. His body was being reconstructed within the raging flames. Like a new life, it emitted endless vitality. Rumble. The mysteries of the True Phoenix secret technique flowed within Ling Xiao's heart. Vaguely, there was a tendency for it to fuse with the ancestral dragon secret technique. Behind Ling Xiao, an enormous golden dragon soared into the sky. The True Phoenix spewed out raging flames. The dragon and the phoenix were auspicious. The power of the dragon and the phoenix intertwined and gathered within Ling Xiao's body. An incomparably terrifying power began to awaken within Ling Xiao's body. What? How can you know the True Phoenix Nirvana technique of the Phoenix clan? Lin's face was shocked. His eyes were filled with disbelief. Just now, Ling Xiao had not only used the Dragon clan's peerless divine ability, but now, he had also used the True Phoenix Nirvana technique to completely refine the Autarka's source energy within Ling Xiao's body. Moreover, the power of the fusion of the dragon and the phoenix made Lin's heart tremble. I know a lot more. Let's use your Autarka's celestial body to test my dragon and phoenix Nirvana technique. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed sharply. He smiled faintly and instantly moved. Rumble. He leaped into the sky. His body was surrounded by a dazzling golden light. It was as if he had transformed into a giant whirlpool. Endless spiritual energy of heaven and earth was being devoured by him. Behind him, the true dragon and true phoenix intertwined. A mysterious power gathered on his fist. Then he suddenly punched out. Kacha. The entire sky was filled with blazing lightning. When Ling Xiao's fist landed, the surrounding space instantly shattered, and an extremely profound ripple spread out, instantly enveloping Lin within it. How is this possible? Lin's scalp instantly went numb. His eyes were filled with incomparable fear. It was as if he had been frozen. When Ling Xiao's fist landed on his body, he actually did not have any time to resist. Buzz. A strange wave of energy spread out. Lin's body was like quicksand. He instantly turned into dust and completely disappeared from the world. Zhang Xuhao, the sixth saint, and the Southern Sky King were completely dumbfounded. Their eyes were filled with incomparable fear. Lin's Autark's celestial body was destroyed by Ling Xiao just like that? This was too hard to believe. They felt as if they were in a dream. They did not dare to believe everything that had happened in front of them. What was that power that shook the heavens and earth when the dragon and phoenix attacked together? Chapter 631. Ling Xiao hovered there in the air, his true energy completely drained. The King Heaven Devourer cauldron shone with dazzling light as it absorbed the quintessence energy of heaven and earth. Ling Xiao frowned. The combination of the secret skills of the ancestral dragon and true phoenix had destroyed Lin's paragon Dharma body with a single blow. But now that he thought about it, he couldn't remember how it had been done. So a combination of secret skills can unleash such terrifying power? Ling Xiao's eyes flickered. Although it was just a flash of inspiration in the midst of a life and death crisis, and he could no longer unleash that shocking blow, Ling Xiao vaguely saw infinite hope in the path of fusing secret techniques. If he could master the power of a combination of secret skills, then once he reached the paragon level, he would definitely be able to slaughter gods and exterminate devils. Run! This kid is too freakish. He's impossible to deal with. He definitely got the legacy of the Scarlet Dragon War God. That kind of power is beyond the power of a normal person. Zhang Xuhao, Holy Sun Sixth, and Heavenly King South were trembling, and their eyes were filled with terror as they prepared to flee. It's too late for you to leave now. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed as he said indifferently. No matter what, these people had to die. None of them could be left alive. Rumble. Ling Xiao shot through the air. Although he couldn't unleash the power of a combination of secret skills, his true phoenix nirvanic rebirth had restored his fleshly body to its peak. He was so strong that a single fist strike from him could shatter a mountain. Crack. Zhang Xuhao's arm exploded into a mist of blood, and he screamed as Ling Xiao stabbed him in the forehead and used the King Heaven Devourer cauldron to devour his nascent divinity. Zhang Xuhao's paragon Dao mark was now completely drained, and he stood no chance against Ling Xiao. You'll die a horrible death, Ling Xiao. The Emperor Tomb Mountain won't let you get away with this, Ling Xiao. Heavenly King South and Holy Sun Sixth knew that Ling Xiao wasn't going to let them off the hook, so they fought back viciously. Ling Zhao's expression was cold, and he ignored them completely. Fist light descended toward the foreheads of the Holy Sun and Holy Sun South. Wang. The South Sky King and the Sixth Saint Child wanted to activate the supreme Dao marks on their foreheads, but Ling Xiao was already prepared. The wordless heavenly scripture descended with a rumble and suppressed the two supreme Dao marks. Not long after, the Southern Heavenly King, the Sixth Saint Child, and the two half-supremes who came with the Southern Heavenly King were all killed by Ling Xiao. When the South Sky King and the Sixth Saint died, they were extremely unwilling and fearful. Perhaps they even regretted going against Ling Xiao. Unfortunately, their nascent divinities had already been devoured by the King Heaven Devourer cauldron. And in the end, not even their true spirits were left behind. Even Jizun has started to target me? Ling Zhao's eyes flashed with a sharp light. He felt an urgent need to increase his strength. He was no match for Jizun now. Not to mention, Ling Xiao had offended quite a few holy lands. Star Palace, Nantian Aristocratic Family, Emperor Tomb Mountain, Precious Treasure Pavilion, maybe Daming Temple and many others, as well as many hidden people who coveted Ling Zhao's treasures. First, I need to extract the divine abilities from their nascent divinities. Ling Zhao's eyes glittered. Zhang Xuhao, the Sixth Saint Child, and the South Sky King were all considered geniuses, so it was only natural that their nascent divinities contained seeds of boundless divine abilities. The King Heaven Devourer cauldron shone with dazzling light, and no matter how Zhang Xuhao and the others screamed, the stars in their nascent divinities were extracted. Formless Sword Energy. Heaven Sword 36 forms. Myriad Magic Heart-binding Magic. Heaven Tomb Incantation. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed with delight. He had discovered a total of 36 boundless divine abilities from the three of them, as well as the two half-paragons. Of course, after eliminating the 10 that had already merged, there were still 26 left. Ling Zhao's primordial spirit devoured these 26 supreme divine abilities, and the number of supreme divine abilities in Ling Zhao's primordial spirit reached a shocking 86. 86 types of supreme divine abilities. This was definitely an incomparably shocking number. Within those divine abilities were seeds of complete laws, and they were the foundation of one's future path on the martial path. After being reborn, Ling Xiao had decided to use the 108 divine abilities as his foundation to forge a supreme foundation of the martial path. He wanted to form a Dharma idol that could shake the heavens and earth. Ling Xiao could sense that the world around him was becoming clearer and clearer. Threads of laws filled the air, and multicolored auras flowed. It was a mysterious and unfathomable sight. The cultivation of the martial path was nothing more than the pursuit of the mysteries of heaven and earth, and the process of understanding one's true self. The mysteries of heaven and earth were boundless, and compared to heaven and earth, a person was like a drop in the ocean. However, it was precisely because there were so many unknowns that people would forever pursue the path of cultivation. They wanted to explore the ultimate secrets of heaven and earth. In the noble realm, one cultivated divine abilities of the martial path. The so-called divine abilities of the martial path were the manifestation of the laws of heaven and earth. The deeper one's understanding of the laws, the wider one's future path on the martial path would be. Therefore, even though Ling Xiao felt like he could break through to the monarch realm at any time, he suppressed it because he still hadn't reached his limit. Since the channel opening realm, Ling Xiao strove to cultivate every single realm to the limit and pursue perfection. An exalt Dharma body has come from the Emperor Tomb Mountain, so the other sacred grounds of the martial path might have exalt Dharma bodies as well. It's fine if they don't offend me, but if they dare to offend me, then contribute your supreme divine abilities. Ling Xiao spoke indifferently while a sharp glow flickered in his eyes. He thought of the Star Palace, Daming Temple, Sky Demon Palace, and so on and so forth. All of these sacred grounds of the martial path more or less carried hostility towards him. The old goat has awakened? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed, and he revealed a trace of pleasant surprise. He instantly transformed into a ray of light that entered the Empyrean stone. The scene within the Empyrean stone wasn't chaotic like before. Ling Xiao had refined the Empyrean stone and become its master, and the world within the Empyrean stone had started to slowly take shape. It was a world with beautiful mountains and clear waters. Mountain ranges rose and fell continuously, and it was grand and majestic. Ancient trees towered into the sky and shot into the sky. There were mountains, rivers, lakes, and oceans. The mountains and rivers were magnificent, and they were filled with dense natural energy. All sorts of strange flowers and herbs grew endlessly within the Empyrean stone, and they grew extremely swiftly under the nourishment of the natural energy. This was the future base that Ling Xiao intended to leave for the longevity sect. In the future, the longevity sect would be located within the world within the Empyrean stone. Perhaps even the War God Temple did not have such a great fortune to have a complete world as their base. Chapter 632. The Palace of the King of Gods was situated above the 9 heavens, surrounded by clouds and mist. It was like an immortal's abode with an extraordinary aura. Ling Xiao's figure flashed and landed on the plaza outside the Palace of the King of Gods. On the plaza, beside the huge 9-tailed celestial fox's skeleton, Su Mainyang was enveloped in radiance. Her bloodline was surging as she accepted the inheritance. Ling Xiao saw Luoluo riding on the old goat. She was wearing a white dress and her big eyes were dazzling. Her long eyelashes were fluttering and her skin was as clear as jade. She looked like a porcelain doll. The old goat stared at the big radish in front of him and was drooling. His eyes were shining and he couldn't wait to swallow the big radish. "Master, master, save me. This bastard old goat wants to eat me. Is he master's mount? He's so ugly." When the big radish saw Ling Xiao, it was as though he had seen his savior. He hurriedly hugged Ling Xiao's leg and pointed at the old goat. "You're the ugly one. Your whole family is ugly. You short and ugly big radish, get over here. I'm going to kill you." The old goat jumped up as though someone had stepped on his tail. He looked at the big radish with hostility. "Big brother, you're finally here." When Luoluo saw Ling Xiao, she was pleasantly surprised. She immediately jumped down from the big goat and ran towards Ling Xiao. "Luoluo, it's my fault for leaving you here. Don't blame me, okay?" Ling Xiao hugged Luoluo and said shamefully. Since the old goat went into seclusion, Ling Xiao had left Luoluo alone in the Sky God Stone. A child must be very lonely. "Big brother, I'm fine. The old goat and this big radish are fun. I'm not lonely." Luoluo blinked her big eyes. Her eyes were clear and pure. She was very happy. "Luoluo is so obedient," Ling Xiao said with a smile. He then stared at the big radish and the old goat. "All right, stop fooling around. Old goat, how's your seclusion? Is your Dao injury healed?" This was what Ling Xiao was most worried about. Even with the tree heart of the growing illusion demonic ancient tree, Ling Xiao couldn't be sure that it could heal the old goat's Dao injury. "Ah, of course. I'm the heaven-devouring great emperor, the one who shook the heavens with my might. What's a mere Dao injury to me? Now that I've recovered the cultivation of a half-step demon venerable, I only need to nourish the origin internally and sense the world externally. It won't be long before I can return to the supreme realm." The old goat said smugly. "A mere half-step demon venerable is nothing. Master has already slain more than 10 half-step martial highness experts." Big Radish twitched its mouth and mumbled. Seeing that the old goat was about to act up again, Ling Xiao felt a headache coming on and hurriedly stopped it. "Ling Xiao, is this the great bright king's ginseng? Swallow it for me, and I'll be able to break through to the supremacy stage very quickly. At that time, I'll kill anyone who displeases you." The old goat glanced at the big radish and said. Big Radish's entire body stiffened. It hurriedly hugged Ling Xiao's thigh and said, "Master, you mustn't let me be eaten by this ugly sheep. I haven't advanced to become a supreme divine medicine yet. When I become a supreme divine medicine, I can help Master live another life and dominate the world." "Reincarnated? I don't need that." Ling Xiao smiled faintly. His eyes revealed a hint of sharpness. "In this life, I'll break through the man-god bottleneck and break through to the divine spirit stage. 10,000 years is too long, seize every moment. But don't worry, it won't eat you. 10,000 years is too long, seize every moment? Good. Well said." The old goat also said excitedly, "That's right. Why do we need to live another life? We'll definitely become gods in this life." Ling Xiao smiled and said, "Old goat, we're now in the holy ground. Do you still remember this place?" "Holy ground?" The old goat's body shook. He smiled and said, "How can I not remember? We met here back then, right? You even snatched my sky-devouring secret skill. If it wasn't for the holy ground, I'm afraid there wouldn't be a sky-devouring supreme later." "Yes, the sky-devouring secret skill is here, so I have a feeling that there's a connection between the demon saint and the scarlet dragon war god. Right now, the forces outside are complicated. The Sky Demon Palace, Blazing Mountain, and Crystal Palace are all fighting for the demon saint's inheritance. I'm going to help my cheap cousin get the demon saint's inheritance. What do you think?" Ling Xiao looked at the old goat and said, "The demon saint's inheritance is about to appear?" The old goat's eyes revealed a trace of sharpness. He then looked at Ling Xiao seriously and said, "If I want the demon saint's inheritance, will you help me?" "You want the demon saint's inheritance? Ha ha. We're brothers. If you want it, why wouldn't I help you? Then tell my cheap cousin to scram." Ling Xiao was slightly stunned, then he smiled. "Brothers? One is a human, the other is a goat. How can there be brothers like that?" The big radish muttered softly. Ling Xiao was instantly speechless. This big radish really had a foul mouth. It was practically brothers with the old goat. He wanted to strangle it to death. Ling Xiao glared at it fiercely, and the big radish immediately became obedient. The old goat wasn't in the mood to joke around. He said seriously, "I don't know why, but I have a feeling that the demon saint's inheritance is related to me. It should belong to me." "Belong to you? Why don't you go to heaven? Why don't you say that you're the son of the demon saint?" The big radish couldn't help but ask again. Ling Xiao and the old goat's murderous gaze landed on it. Instantly the big radish trembled. It laughed dryly and said, "You guys chat, you guys chat. I'll bring Luoluo out to play." After saying that, the big radish pulled Luoluo and disappeared with a whoosh. It was really afraid that Ling Xiao would let the old goat eat it in a fit of anger. Although the big radish has a foul mouth, what it says might be true. "Perhaps you're really the son of the demon saint?" Ling Xiao smiled and said. The old goat took a deep breath and said seriously like never before, "No matter what, I want the demon saint's inheritance. Perhaps I can really find out about my origins." Ling Xiao nodded. The old goat's origins were very mysterious. However, it originally came from the holy ground. Perhaps only the holy ground could solve the mystery of its origins. In my previous life, the core of the holy ground, the Thousand Demon Palace, couldn't be opened. Perhaps this time it's really going to be opened. Even if there's the demon saint's inheritance, it should be in the Thousand Demon Palace. Let's go out. This time, I'll definitely help you get the demon saint's inheritance. Ling Xiao's eyes shone brightly as he said slowly, "All right." The old goat nodded, and a trace of gratitude flashed across its eyes. Chapter 633. The land of the fallen gods was desolate and filled with danger. Even though Ling Xiao's battle with Di Lin and the others was extremely intense, no one noticed them. Ling Xiao and the old goat left the land of the fallen gods and headed towards the demon palace. The demon palace was the core of the hallowed grounds. It was an extremely mysterious hovering palace, but it had always been sealed and couldn't be opened. Ling Xiao had met the old goat there in his previous life. If nothing unexpected happened, the demon saint's inheritance should be within the demon palace. Rumble. Right at this moment, Ling Xiao heard an intense rumble. The heavens and the earth shook as a blazing flame shot into the sky and dyed half the sky red. As soon as Ling Xiao left the land of the fallen gods, he saw the sky to the west. Clouds were roiling, flames were rising, and auspicious energy was surging. The mysterious glow of treasures was suffused out. Moreover, the sound of intense battle resounded from that direction. Countless figures were flashing about, as if they were intensely fighting for something. A treasure has appeared? Based on the commotion, it's definitely a precious treasure. Haha. Ling Xiao, let's go take a look. The old goat's eyes instantly lit up, and he was about to charge towards the west. Swoosh. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He heard the sound of the air being torn apart as three figures swiftly fled towards him. Behind them were two young monks in crimson-red robes, standing on lotus flowers, and emanating a Buddhist aura. Big Brother Ling. It's Big Brother Ling. Big Brother Ling, save us. Help us stop those two bald donkeys. Two voices of pleasant surprise resounded. Ling Xiao looked over and saw that Xiong Xiaohe and Hu Zi were amongst them. The other one was actually the young patriarch of the Pegasus clan, Ma Junjia. He wore white clothes and wielded a silver spear, and he seemed rather dashing. Shockingly, their cultivations were at the monarch realm. Obviously, they'd obtained quite a bit of fortune. Xiong Xiaohe and Hu Zi seemed as if they'd seen their savior. Their faces were filled with excitement as they instantly shot over to Ling Xiao's side. The two young monks were both at the 7th level of the monarch realm. Their faces were filled with arrogance as they descended from the sky. One of them stared coldly at Ling Xiao and said, "Hand them over or die." Although they recognized the young man as Ling Xiao and had heard of his achievements, they had never seen him fight before. As soon as they saw that Ling Xiao was only a noble, they immediately looked down on him. People from Mingwang Temple? How arrogant. Ling Xiao smiled faintly, a sharp glint in his eyes. Xiaohe, why are they chasing after you? Ling Xiao turned to look at Xiaohe and asked. Big Brother Ling, a pure yang spirit spring appeared in the magma sea in the west. We found a pure yang golden lotus, but it was discovered by these two bald donkeys. They insisted that we hand it over. We didn't hand it over, so they chased us all the way here. Xiong Xiaohe said indignantly. The pure yang golden lotus was considered a very precious sacred medicine. Moreover, it was extremely beneficial for the cultivation of Buddhism. It was no wonder that the two from Mingwang Temple would pursue him so relentlessly. Hu Zi hurriedly said, Big Brother Ling, quickly go and save Sister Phoenix. She seems to have obtained some nirvana bone. She's already surrounded by the people from Mingwang Temple. Ma Junjia looked at Ling Xiao curiously. He could also see that Ling Xiao was only at the noble realm. How did he manage to kill South Celestial Venerable and the 3 stars of Star Palace? Xiong Xiaohe and Hu Zi seemed to admire Ling Xiao greatly. Sir, I was the one who discovered the pure yang golden lotus first. As long as the 3 of them hand it over, we'll let you go. The other young monk was more cautious as he looked at Ling Xiao and said slowly, Hand over the pure yang golden lotus? I'll give you a chance. If you scram now, I'll spare your lives. Ling Xiao sneered as a cold glint flashed in his eyes. You're courting death. Kill him. The 2 monks from Mingwang Temple didn't expect Ling Xiao to be so arrogant and reject them directly. They were instantly enraged and charged at Ling Xiao at the same time. Boom. The 2 of them unleashed their violent cultivation. They clenched their fists and the Buddhist light around them shone as they charged at Ling Xiao. It was as though a Mingwang had descended from the sky to suppress everything. Mingwang's great handprint. The supreme superpower of Mingwang Temple. Since you're courting death, don't blame me for it. Murderous intent flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes. His blood surged violently as he threw out a punch that shook the heavens and earth. Boom. The golden fist print traversed the void. It was overbearing and terrifying. It pierced through the layers of the void and enveloped the 2 monks. What? The 2 young monks were shocked. Once Ling Xiao attacked, his aura changed instantly. He was like an immemorial ferocious beast that had just woken up from a deep slumber. The overwhelming blood qi made them tremble. and they couldn't muster up any courage to fight back. "Sir, let's talk nicely. We'll leave now," the young monk hurriedly shouted. He could clearly feel the threat of death looming over him. "It's too late," Ling Xiao said coldly. A blazing fist light descended from the sky, and the two young monks were directly blasted apart by Ling Xiao, turning into a bloody mist in the air. Their nascent divinities were also devoured by the Heaven Devourer cauldron. So strong, Ma Junjia's eyes almost popped out of their sockets. His eyes were filled with extreme shock. As a demon folk, he had never seen a human with such a terrifying fleshly body. Even among the demon folk, only those with the bloodlines of ancient godlings could be so freakishly strong. "Big Bro Ling, you're amazing." "Aha." Xiong Xiaohe and Hu Zi were cheering, feeling as though all of the gloominess in their hearts had been swept away. "Let's go," Ling Xiao said, his eyes flashing. Beckoning to Xiong Xiaohe and the others, he flew toward the western region. Nirvana bones were left behind by paragon-level phoenixes, and were incomparably precious. They contained the divine abilities of phoenixes, as well as enlightenment of the magical laws of the Tao of martial arts. Speaking of which, Nirvana bones were similar to the Sariras of Buddhist cultivators. They were both formed from the quintessence of powerful experts. That said, Ling Xiao had the feeling that the Bright King Temple wouldn't go to war over a Nirvana bone. There had to be some other reason. In the west, two enormous divine mountains rose from the ground. They were 30,000 meters tall, and pierced the clouds. They were majestic, and emanated a savage aura. Between the two divine mountains was a valley shrouded in a scarlet glow. Within the gorge, a divine spring with an area of around 3 m was gurgling and flowing. It was crystalline, translucent, and dazzling, and it emitted a strand of pure yang energy, causing the forest in the surroundings of the divine spring to be tainted with a layer of fluctuation of divinity. Exotic flowers and plants could be seen everywhere, as well as ancient vines and old herbs that emitted a strange fragrance. Chapter 634. Ming Zun sat cross-legged on a lotus flower in the air. A few scantily clad women stood behind him with their hands clasped together. They were chanting scriptures behind him. The 3 old monks from Mingwang Temple wore red kasayas and held demon-vanquishing Zen staffs in their hands. They were all half-step Supreme Being cultivators. The Buddhist aura around them suppressed the 2 elders from Fiery Mountain. "Fairy Feng, you are fated with Buddha and should be my concubine. Why are you so stubborn? I am deeply in love with you. You are hurting my heart by rejecting me like this." Ming Zun smiled faintly. He sat cross-legged on the lotus flower. He was wearing a white robe and had a mysterious temperament. The smile on his face was so bright that it was intoxicating. The eyes of the women behind him were blurred and filled with admiration. "Shameless! How dare you say such shameless words when you are a monk? Mingwang Temple has corrupted the reputation of Buddhism. It's not surprising that they have such a shameless person like you," Phoenix Maiden said coldly. Her cultivation had reached the 3rd level of the monarch realm. Flames surged behind her, and a 5-colored phoenix soared into the sky. It was exuding a majestic aura. The 2 elders from Blazing Mountain were severely injured by Ming Zun's sneak attack. They were barely holding on under the joint attack of the 3 old monks from Mingwang Temple. They were in imminent danger. "Kill!" Phoenix Maiden's eyes were filled with cold killing intent. Light flashed in her palm, and an ancient fan that was flowing with red light appeared. She fanned it at the 3 old monks. Immediately, a raging flame appeared. "Phoenix Tail Flaming Sky Fan. TSK. I didn't expect the master of Blazing Mountain to dote on you so much. He even gave you this treasure." Ming Zun's eyes flashed. He didn't seem surprised at all. A stream of light flashed in his palm. Instantly, a resplendent pearl flew into the sky and blasted toward the Phoenix Tail Flaming Sky Fan. Crack! The pearl emitted a dazzling blue light, as if there was an ocean spreading out. It instantly extinguished the flames in the sky. When it collided with the Phoenix Tail Flaming Sky Fan, a dazzling light exploded in the sky. Dinghai Pearl! The Phoenix Maiden's eyes flashed. She didn't expect Ming Zun to have such a supreme treasure. In ancient times, there was a supreme divine artifact known as the 24 Sea Calming Pearls. Each of them was a supreme divine artifact and extremely powerful. However, the Dinghai Pearl in Mingzun's hand had been scattered during the ancient war. Although the Dinghai Pearl in Mingzun's hand was damaged, and was only a damaged divine artifact, it was still comparable to a top-tier supreme artifact. For a moment, it was on par with the Phoenix Tail Flaming Sky Fan. Fairy Feng, I advise you not to waste your energy. You have the bloodline of the Black Wind, and the body of the Cauldron of Kuan. As long as you go to Mount Wu with me, you will enjoy the blissful life together. You will naturally be able to comprehend the great Tao together, and become a supreme being. If you still don't know what's good for you, then don't blame me. A faint smile appeared on Mingzun's face, and there was a hint of undisguised passion in his eyes. He could see that the Phoenix Maiden's primordial Yin was still there, and it was extremely majestic. Moreover, it was the legendary cauldron physique that was rarely seen in 10,000 years. As long as he dual cultivated with a woman like this, his cultivation would definitely advance by leaps and bounds. It would greatly increase his chances of reaching the supreme realm. As for whether or not it would offend the Blazing Mountain, that was not his concern. If he were to become a supreme being, he would not be afraid of the Blazing Mountain. Mingzun, even if I die, I will not agree to this. Phoenix Maiden's eyes revealed a trace of coldness. How could she not know? Although Mingwang Temple and the Tempest Temple were both Buddhist sects, they were completely different. The Tempest Temple was particular about all sorts of rules and regulations, but Mingwang Temple had no taboos at all. All of their disciples would wantonly kidnap women and make them their concubines. In reality, they were just playthings for their sexual pleasure. The Phoenix Maiden did not expect Mingzun to be so bold as to have designs on her. You don't agree? Fairy Feng, you are definitely going to be my concubine, Mingzun said with a smile. Is that so? What if I don't agree? At this moment, an indifferent and clear voice rang out in the void. Ling Xiao stepped out of the void. His white robe and black hair fluttered in the wind. He exuded an extremely powerful aura. His eyes were extremely bright as he stared at Mingzun with a cold, murderous intent. Ling Xiao. The Phoenix Maiden's body shook as a look of surprise appeared in her eyes. She was relieved and was filled with confidence in Ling Xiao. It was as though as long as Ling Xiao was around, there was nothing that could not be solved. Ling Xiao. Looks like my two good-for-nothing junior brothers have died in your hands. Mingzun looked at Xiong Xiaohe and the other two people beside Ling Xiao. His eyes were cold. Ling Xiao smiled and said, "Two useless trash from Mingwang Temple. It would be a waste of food to keep them alive. I have helped you to get rid of them. You don't have to thank me. I don't like the three of them either. I will get rid of them for you as well." Boom. Ling Xiao exuded an extremely powerful aura as his eyes were filled with murderous intent. He then charged towards the three old monks. "How dare you attack me in front of me? You must be tired of living." Mingzun's eyes turned cold as the Buddhist light around him burned brightly. He threw a palm strike towards Ling Xiao. Heavenly flowers fell from the sky and golden lotuses shone brightly. It was as though an eternal wisdom king was walking towards Ling Xiao. Boom. Ling Xiao's fist aura became stronger as he smashed the wisdom king's shadow into pieces. He then continued to charge towards Mingzun. "Hee hee, you three old bald donkeys, this emperor will play with you." The old goat was eager to give it a try. His eyes were filled with a strong fighting spirit. He chuckled and instantly charged towards the three old monks. Mingzun's eyes turned serious as he felt a strong sense of threat from Ling Xiao. When Mingzun heard that Ling Xiao had defeated the sixth holy sun in Two World City, he did not take it to heart. In his eyes, there were only a few people in the entire War God continent who could be his match. Ling Xiao was obviously not one of them. However, the moment Ling Xiao attacked, he knew that he was a strong opponent. Boom. Mingzun stood up from the lotus platform as he exuded a faint golden light. His physical body seemed to be indestructible, similar to the indestructible Vajra body of Buddhism. Furthermore, Ling Xiao could sense that Mingzun had passed the tribulation of one elephant and exuded a terrifying aura. Mingzun threw a punch at Ling Xiao and his body seemed to have pierced through the void. Light flashed beneath his feet, and there were faint runes around him. God's celerity? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. This Mingzun was indeed very powerful. He had cultivated the indestructible Vajra divine skill, survived the tribulation of one elephant, and had a supreme divine skill like divine feet. He was much more powerful than the sixth holy sun and the southern heavenly monarch. Chapter 635. Roar. The roar of a dragon resounded in the air. Ling Zhao's body was shrouded in golden light, as though he had grown dragon scales. His fists were like dragons as his eyes were filled with battle intent. Body of the heavenly dragon versus invincible Vajra divine skill. Ling Zhao wanted to see if his body of the heavenly dragon was stronger, or if his invincible Vajra divine skill was stronger. Boom. The two fists collided and golden runes exploded. The void shook violently and Ling Zhao's body shook slightly before he came to a stop. On the other hand, Ming Zun was sent flying by his punch. You're from the dragon tribe? That's not right. You're from the human tribe. How can you know the divine skill of the dragon tribe, and have such a strong physical body? Ming Zun's eyes widened in shock as he felt his arm go numb. His eyes were filled with disbelief. Invincible Vajra divine skill? That's all there is to it. Ling Zhao smirked coldly. The blood and qi around him became even more violent. His eyes were extremely sharp as he clenched his fist and charged towards Ming Zun. Ling Zhao, don't be so arrogant. Destructive deity, join me. Kill. Ming Zun's eyes flashed coldly as he roared. His body was surrounded by dazzling light. Rumble. Behind him, chaotic energy filled the air as though it was going to destroy the world. The void shattered as a mysterious figure with 3 heads and 6 arms sat cross-legged in the void. His face was ferocious as the destructive energy and Buddhist light intertwined. His body exuded 2 different auras. Destructive deity? You're just an evil cultivator. Ling Zhao sneered and turned into a golden dragon. He swept across the 9 heavens with a violent battle intent, and collided with the destruction deity king. Boom. Heaven and earth shook as the void shattered. Destructive energy exuded from destructive deity's body as he tried to penetrate Ling Zhao's body. Ling Zhao used a teleportation technique to dodge the attack, but the divine dragon managed to break free. Its huge dragon tail swept over like a golden divine blade, slashing towards the destructive deity king's neck. Clang! Destructive deity raised his hand and blocked the dragon tail. Golden light shone brightly as the sound of metal clashing could be heard. His palm turned into a claw as he tried to grab the dragon tail. Whoosh! Ling Zhao moved across the sky like a silver river. He appeared behind destructive deity in an instant and punched out with a huge fist. Rumble! The destruction wisdom king sat cross-legged in the void, and merged with venerated Ming. The Buddha light around him shone brightly, giving off an immortal and unfathomable vibe. Ling Zhao and destructive deity king engaged in an intense battle. No matter how terrifying Ling Zhao's attacks were, they were all blocked by destructive deity king. The void trembled and the heaven and earth rumbled. The surrounding mountains trembled violently. The mountain peaks were flattened and the earth cracked. It was as if the world was about to be destroyed. However, there was a mysterious fluctuation spreading out from these 2 divine mountains. They emitted a bright light, which was extremely mysterious. No matter how intense the battle between Ling Zhao and Ming Zun was, they were unable to destroy the 2 mountains and the spring in the valley. This exterminating wisdom king is merely a supreme killing technique. Let's see how long you can last. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed coldly as if he was treating destructive deity king as a living target. He gathered the 86 supreme superpowers and threw them at destructive deity king. He was using destructive deity king as a whetstone to hone his martial way superpowers. Ming Zun's destructive deity king was so terrifying not because of his own strength, but because of the supreme killing technique. However, Ming Zun's cultivation was too low and he couldn't last long in the state of destructive deity king. Rumble! The true dragon roared as it swept across the void, and engaged in a fierce battle with the black destructive deity king. Blazing lightning struck down along with endless turbulence in the void and shrouded the 2 of them. Ling Zhao and Ming Zun exchanged more than 100 moves in the blink of an eye. Every move was dangerous and contained a destructive force. The longer the battle went on, the heavier Ming Zun's heart became. He even had the thought of retreating. Ling Zhao's combat strength was too terrifying, and it seemed like there was no limit to it. If this continued, he would be defeated by Ling Xiao sooner or later. Ming Zun looked at the three elders of the Mingwang Temple in disbelief. What? The three half-step supremes wielded the demon-vanquishing staff and formed the tripartite Buddha light formation. Their combat strength was so strong that even the two elders of the Mountain of Flames were no match for them. But now they were suppressed by the old goat. The old goat shone with dazzling light, and the King Heaven Devourer cauldron pulsed with a heaven-devouring, earth-devouring aura that bore down on the three monks. Allow me to send you on your way, bald donkeys. The old goat laughed heartily, his eyes blazing with the desire to do battle. At the same time, the King Heaven Devourer cauldron began to rumble. Rumble. The tripartite Buddhist light formation was destroyed, and the three monks coughed up mouthfuls of blood, their eyes filled with disbelief. Damn you, Ling Xiao! Ming Zun shouted, both shocked and enraged. If things kept going on like this, the old goat was going to kill the three elders, and he wouldn't be able to escape. Whiz. The ocean-suppressing pearl shone with dazzling light as it slammed into the phoenix tail flaming heaven fan. The fan was sent flying, then transformed into a dazzling star that shot toward Ling Xiao. Time for you to die. Ming Zun shouted, his eyes flashing with cold light as he drew on the power of the ocean-suppressing pearl. It was a damaged god item, and contained boundless killing power. If Ling Xiao was hit by it, he would likely be crushed to bits. The ocean-suppressing pearl? Why don't you give it to me? Ling Xiao said, chuckling coldly. Then the Heaven Devourer sword appeared in his hand. Whoosh! A beam of dazzling sword light shot through the air toward the ocean-suppressing pearl, piercing through primal chaos and sundering heaven and earth. Ruiyumble. The sword radiance rumbled and was dazzling. It was as if a divine sun had exploded in the void. Countless runes were turned into dust. The sea-calming pearl buzzed, and was actually sent flying by the heaven-devouring sword. Ling Xiao's eyes were cold as he lunged toward Ming Zun, sword while surging around him like a sea. His black hair whipped about him, making him look like a paragon of swords. Whiz! The ocean-suppressing pearl shone brilliantly as if a vast ocean had covered the sky, enveloping Ming Zun. Ming Zun's eyes were filled with shock. Wasn't Ling Xiao an itinerant cultivator? How could he have such a powerful paragon weapon? The Heaven Devourer sword's radiance made his scalp tingle, and he felt cold all over. This was a peerless, ferocious sword that could compete with his ocean-suppressing pearl. Ling Xiao, I'll let you go, and we'll call it a day. What do you think? Although Ming Zun was unwilling, he knew that he wouldn't be able to gain any advantage if he continued to stand here. He might even fail miserably. Therefore he gave in. However, Ling Xiao sneered. Call it a day? Who do you think you are? How dare you say you'll let us go? Even if you want to leave, you have to leave your life behind. Boom. Chapter 636. Boom. The sea-calming pearl shone brightly and a blue ocean spread out. It was as though countless black divine lights had turned into powerful defensive runes. The peerless sword aura swept through the void and slashed down on the Dinghai pearl. In an instant, a bright light shone and the void shattered. Endless chaotic fog spread out as if the world was about to be destroyed. All living beings fell into silence. Ming Zun felt as though he had been struck by lightning, and his primordial spirit had been slashed by a peerless divine sword. His face paled and he coughed out a mouthful of blood. Although the sea-calming pearl was given to him, Ming Zun was still unable to unleash the full power of the sea-calming pearl with his cultivation. He could only use a sliver of its power with his primordial spirit. Ling Xiao's sky-devouring sword was of the same origin as Ling Xiao. It was personally forged by Ling Xiao and nourished by his innate essence. It could unleash almost all of its power. This sword slashed through heaven and earth and turned everything into chaos. It even contained a sliver of power that could destroy one's divine soul. Thus, Ming Zun's primordial spirit was also slightly injured. Ling Xiao, you deserve to die. Ming Zun was infuriated. His eyes were filled with cold killing intent. His face was twisted as he spat out a mouthful of blood essence. After the Dinghai pearl absorbed his essence blood, it shone brightly. In the end, it blocked Ling Xiao's sword and protected Ming Zun in the center. I want to see how much essence blood you have to spit out. Watch how I shatter your turtle shell. Ling Xiao laughed coldly. He soared into the sky and the sky-devouring sword shone brightly. Starlight fell from the sky and Ling Xiao swallowed the essence of heaven and earth, turning it into dazzling divine power. He charged towards Ming Zun. Ming Zun was extremely aggrieved and terrified. He couldn't imagine why Ling Xiao would want to kill him. Ming Zun didn't know that Ling Xiao was the one who had stolen his grade 12 blood lotus. Otherwise he would have fought Ling Xiao to the death. Just as Ling Xiao was about to attack Ming Zun, a black shadow appeared out of nowhere. A slender, transparent sword appeared silently, and without any killing intent, as though it didn't exist. It stabbed towards Ling Xiao's heart from behind. The wordless heavenly book trembled slightly, and Ling Xiao felt a chill all over his body. He felt a fatal danger approaching. He didn't even think about it. The sky-devouring sword in his hand changed its shape and slashed towards his back. Clang! Sparks flew everywhere, and a terrifying divine power exploded. Ling Xiao took the chance to retreat and finally saw the person who had attacked him. He was young. To himself. His eyes were cold and emotionless. It was as if he had become one with the heavens and earth, and no one could sense his existence at all. The saber in his hand was actually transparent and flowed with a faint light. One could feel that there was a peerless, ferocious aura hidden within it, and the murderous aura was overflowing. This young man was much more of a threat to Ling Xiao than Ming Zun. The disciples of the Underworld Pavilion and the Heavenly Court Pavilion all cultivated the art of killing. They were cruel and emotionless and had the most powerful fighting instincts. The assassins of the Underworld Pavilion had almost never failed when they were at the same level of cultivation. It was very easy for them to kill someone who was at a higher level. Kill him, Yama. Ming Zun pointed at Ling Xiao and shouted coldly. What? He's Yama? Phoenix Maiden, who was watching the battle, revealed a trace of shock in her eyes. Fairy Feng, who is Yama? Is he famous? Xiong Xiaohe came over and asked curiously. Yama is one of the most powerful geniuses in this generation of the Netherworld Pavilion. You could say that he's also one of the top geniuses in the War God continent. He started his career as a noble and managed to kill 10 sovereigns in a row. He assassinated a quasi-exalt while he was at the Monarch realm. Now that he's at the quasi-exalt realm, he can probably be said to be invincible in the same realm of cultivation. The Phoenix Maiden's eyes revealed a trace of seriousness as she spoke slowly. Invincible among his peers? I don't think so. Isn't Ming Zun very powerful? Brother Ling beat him to the point that he doesn't dare to come out. I don't think Yama is a match for Brother Ling, Hu Zi said in a muffled voice. He was very confident in Ling Xiao. That's different. Ling Xiao is the only one in the entire War God continent. However, Yama is very dangerous. I'm afraid Ling Xiao will have a hard time dealing with him. Phoenix Maiden smiled bitterly. Although she was confident in Ling Xiao, she was still worried that the most powerful genius of the Underworld Pavilion, Yama, was going to fight him. Buzz. The void trembled slightly. Yama glanced at Ling Xiao indifferently before disappearing into thin air again. However, Ling Xiao could feel an incomparably blazing killing intent locking onto him. The surrounding void was vast and boundless, and the aura of the Yama King was everywhere. It was as if a killing blow could be unleashed at any time. Boom. At this moment, the stars in the sky lit up. They were dazzling and mysterious. A silver emperor's throne shrouded in starlight descended. An emperor-like man sat cross-legged on it. He was wearing a starry robe and his black hair was loose. His eyes were deep and vast. He exuded boundless majesty and dominance. The Gaochen Star? He even brought the galaxy bell of the Star Palace. Phoenix Maiden was shocked. She didn't expect the Gaochen Star to be here. She felt that something was amiss. Buzz. A loud bell rang. The stars in the sky trembled. An ancient silver bell fell. It was filled with mysterious runes and fluctuations of the order. It was like an ancient sacred mountain that pressed down on Ling Xiao. Ah! The Gaochen Star has come at the right time. Let's attack together and kill Ling Xiao. Ming Zun sneered as he activated the Dinghai Pearl with all his might. A vast ocean surrounded him as he charged towards Ling Xiao. The Gaochen Star? The Star Palace is really like a haunting ghost. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he sneered. The ancient silver bell was called the Galaxy Bell. It was said that the supreme being of the Star Palace had collected the essence of the galaxy and refined it with the essence of countless stars. It had the power to suppress the galaxy and shatter stars. However, Ling Xiao's eyes were filled with fighting intent. He wasn't afraid at all. Facing the suppression of the Galaxy Bell, the sky-swallowing sword in his hand shone brightly and slashed across the sky. Ling Xiao, you killed so many juniors and elders of the Star Palace. You shall pay with your life. Chapter 637. Rumble. Ling Xiao's reply was a single slash. The sky-devouring sword swept across the sky, and a sharp sword radiance shot up to the clouds. It was like a heavenly river flowing in reverse as it slashed the Milky Way bell. Wang. The Milky Way bell vibrated violently as sound waves spread out. The surrounding rocks were all crushed as though there was a silver river flying out from the Milky Way bell. It destroyed all the sword radiance and pressed down on Ling Xiao. Break! Ling Xiao shouted as he flew into the sky with the sky-devouring sword in his hand. As he slashed down, the silver river was sliced in half. Ling Xiao's momentum did not decrease as he charged towards the Gaochen star. Shush! Under the control of Ming Zun, the Dinghai Pearl exuded a mysterious aura. It was like an endless ocean as it charged towards Ling Xiao's back. It was as though Ling Xiao had eyes at the back of his head. He did not even turn his head as he stabbed the sky-devouring sword behind him. The sword radiance gathered at the tip of the sword and turned into a dazzling sun. Rumble. The sun exploded as it collided with the Dinghai Pearl. Dazzling light filled the sky. The Dinghai Pearl spun and flew back into Ming Zun's hand. Ling Xiao's momentum did not decrease as he slashed his sword towards the Gaochen star. Million star flying technique suppress. The Gaochen star was still sitting on the emperor's throne as he was surrounded by dazzling starlight. When he saw Ling Xiao coming towards him, a ray of divine light shot out from his eyes as he roared. Kacha! The starlight in the sky exploded violently. Silver lightning, as thick as a mountain, appeared in the sky and blocked Ling Xiao's sword. The Milky Way bell flew back. There seemed to be billions of stars on the bell that lit up at the same time, forming a mysterious connection with the stars in the 9 heavens. Strands of divine light shot down, binding Ling Xiao. The Milky Way bell landed on top of Ling Xiao's head and formed a killing trap that suppressed everything. Go to hell, Ling Xiao. Ming Zun's eyes flashed with murderous intent. The Dinghai Pearl shot toward Ling Xiao with a powerful divine aura. This was a good opportunity that the Gaochen star had created. He did not hesitate to use the power of the Milky Way bell in order to lure Ling Xiao into the trap and kill him. Boom! Yan Luo also appeared silently in the void. The Luoxing blade in his hand was a peerless, ferocious blade. Although it looked transparent and silent, the baleful qi within it was like a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood, rushing towards Ling Xiao. The 3 peerless heavens favorites all unleashed their ultimate techniques in an attempt to kill Ling Xiao here and now. Not good. The Phoenix Maiden Xiong Xiaohe and the others exclaimed. Their eyes were filled with worry. Especially the Phoenix Maiden. Her pretty face instantly turned pale. 3 peerless geniuses and 3 supreme weapons. Could Ling Xiao escape from such a deadly trap? Rumble. The sea-calming pearl and the Luoxing saber, blazing with killing intent, pierced through Ling Xiao's body in an instant. Under the Galaxy Bell, Ling Xiao's body instantly exploded into pieces. However, not a single drop of blood appeared. Not good, it's a clone. The Gaochen star, Ming Zun, and Yan Luo's expressions changed instantly. Even with their powerful primordial spirits and the suppression of the Galaxy Bell, they did not realize that Ling Xiao had left a clone under the Galaxy Bell. His real body had already disappeared. Rumble. Ling Xiao's figure appeared above the 3 of them in an instant. His white robe and black hair fluttered in the wind. His eyes were filled with killing intent. The sky-devouring sword was wrapped in a peerless radiance as it slashed towards the 3 of them. Ling Xiao had already sensed the Gaochen star's trap earlier on. He had only played along and used a teleportation secret technique to leave behind a clone. His real body had already hidden in the void long ago. The Galaxy Bell, the sea-calming pearl, and the Luoxing saber, the 3 supreme weapons, released a peerless attack at the same time. Ling Xiao took advantage of this gap and attacked instantly. It could be said that Ling Xiao's attack was at the perfect moment. The Gaochen Star, Ming Zun, and Yen Luo were about to use up all their strength. What? The three of them were shocked. However, the radiance from the saber was too bright. Sword chi filled the sky as it formed a sword realm, and engulfed the three of them in an instant. Rumble. Countless runes exploded on the bodies of the three supreme talents. Those were all powerful defensive treasures. However, under the sky-devouring sword, they were destroyed easily and turned into dust. However, the destruction of those defensive treasures had bought them some time. They were able to recall the Galaxy Bell, Sea Calming Pearl, and Luoxing Saber to block the sky-devouring sword chi. Ming Zun and Yen Luo spat out mouthfuls of blood as they were sent flying. The Gaochen Star was in the most miserable state. Both of his arms were destroyed by the sky-devouring sword. His body was covered in blood and his hair was disheveled. He looked extremely pathetic. All of this happened in an instant. From the moment the Gaochen Star set up a trap for Ling Xiao, to the moment Ling Xiao left a clone behind while his real body was hidden in the void, everything happened too quickly. It was so fast that Phoenix Woman, Xiong Xiaohe, and the rest did not even have time to react. Big Bro Ling is so freakish. Xiong Xiaohe, Hu Zi, and Ma Junjie were completely convinced by Ling Xiao, and their eyes shone with awe and reverence. This guy, he's getting more and more freakish. Phoenix Woman said with a wry smile. Never could she have guessed that Ling Xiao would be able to seriously injure the three of them. In fact, if it weren't for the three paragon items, Ling Xiao would have already killed them. Don't worry about him. Ling Xiao isn't going to die. Even if all the paragons are killed, he won't die. Meanwhile, the old goat had already suppressed the three monks, and was speaking to Phoenix Woman and the others with ease. It was almost as if he were toying with the three monks. Instead of killing them, he was using the Heaven Devourer cauldron to devour their cultivation bases. At this moment, the three old monks didn't look like accomplished monks at all. Their eyes were filled with terror. Unfortunately, the Heaven Devourer cauldron was so freakish that they couldn't break free. All they could do was watch as the old goat devoured their cultivation bases. How could he be so strong? The Gaochen Star, Ming Zun, and Yen Luo exchanged a glance and their eyes flashed with shock. Ling Xiao's battle prowess was limitless, and far beyond their wildest imaginations. Even their deadly trap had been neutralized by Ling Xiao. How were they supposed to fight? Have you decided how you want to die? Chapter 638. Ling Xiao, don't be so arrogant. You've offended so many martial arts sanctuaries. You'll die when you get out of the holy ground. The Gaochen Star looked pale as he stared at Ling Xiao coldly. His arms had been cut off by the sky-devouring sword. Although his blood was majestic and he could regrow his limbs, the sky-devouring sword aura had a mysterious fluctuation of the rules of order. It was attached to the wounds on his arms and he couldn't regrow them. As a peerless genius of the Star Palace, he was one of the top geniuses in the God of War continent. When had he ever been humiliated like this? The Gaochen Star hated Ling Xiao to the core and his killing intent rose. Ling Xiao, you're just a rogue cultivator. How could you possess such amazing combat strength? I'm afraid the rumors are true. You've really inherited the Scarlet Dragon War God's legacy? Ming Wang Temple will never let you off. No matter where you are, there will be no place for you in the God of War continent. Ming Zun sneered as he stared at Ling Xiao. Although Yama didn't say a word, his gaze grew colder, and his killing intent seemed to have materialized. It was obvious that he wanted to kill Ling Xiao. Ah, you still dare to threaten me? If that's the case, the three of you can go to hell. Ling Xiao sneered. The sky-devouring sword was extremely sharp and golden blood aura rose around him. No matter what, he had to kill the three of them today. The Gaochen Star, Ming Zun, and Yama's faces changed. They looked at Ling Xiao cautiously, and secretly activated the three supreme weapons to guard against Ling Xiao's sudden attack. With the three supreme weapons in hand, they believed that even Ling Xiao wouldn't be able to kill them easily. Rumble. Suddenly, a blazing divine light exploded in the sky. Red clouds filled the air, and flames rose. A blazing sun appeared in the sky and gave off a vast and majestic aura. The sky-burning demon emperor stepped on the sun and wore a red armor. He had a handsome figure, and his red hair danced in the wind. It was thick and shiny. He looked very handsome, but his face was very indifferent. His eyes seemed to contain two suns, shining with divine light and incomparably resplendent. His entire body exuded an incomparably terrifying aura, causing the void to tremble and heaven and earth to rumble. Behind him were Han Feng and a few elders of the Sky Demon Palace. Each of them had an extraordinary aura, but they were all overshadowed by the radiance of the sky-burning demon emperor. Your Majesty, Demon Emperor. Ming Zun and the others were pleasantly surprised when they saw the sky-burning demon emperor. They stepped forward and bowed. The sky-burning demon emperor looked at Ling Xiao and said, "Are you Ling Xiao?" "That's right, I am Ling Xiao. Who are you?" Ling Xiao smiled faintly, his expression extremely calm. Although he recognized the sky-burning demon emperor, he still pretended not to know him and asked, "How dare you? This is the prince of our Sky Demon Palace, the heaven-burning demon emperor. Ling Xiao, why aren't you coming to greet him?" Han Feng shouted coldly at Ling Xiao, his eyes filled with murderous intent. Previously, he had been robbed, and even his clothes had been stripped. After thinking about it, he finally concluded that it was definitely Ling Xiao who had done it. Therefore, when he saw Ling Xiao, he was reminded of the humiliation he had suffered that day. He immediately gritted his teeth. "Who do you think you are? I am talking to your master. Who are you to interrupt?" Ling Xiao glanced at him and said, "You have a sharp tongue. However, I wonder if your strength is as powerful as your mouth." The sky-burning demon emperor said indifferently. He looked down at Ling Xiao with a condescending and arrogant demeanor. "You can try." Ling Xiao smiled faintly. He did not mind beating up the sky-burning demon emperor, or even killing him. It would be considered as revenge for his cheap parents. However, the sky-burning demon emperor was extremely powerful. Ling Xiao could sense an aura similar to Long Outyin from him. The sky-burning demon emperor also possessed the bloodline of a divine beast. Perhaps, he was a pure-blooded divine beast. Moreover, Ling Xiao could sense that the sky-burning demon emperor's aura was stronger than when the holy ground had opened. He wondered how many tribulations of the four symbols he had passed. Ling Xiao only felt a strong threat from the sky-burning demon emperor. He had to admit that the sky-burning demon emperor was a formidable opponent. Buzz! There was a flash in the sky-burning demon emperor's eyes. Two blazing flames shot across the sky, exuding a strong primordial spirit suppression that suppressed Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. Light flowed in his eyes and turned into a deep vortex. It devoured the sky-burning demon emperor's primordial spirit suppression and digested it. Between the two of them, there was a kind of mysterious qi that was clashing. The heavens and earth were silent. However, there was an extremely oppressive aura that filled the air, causing everyone to feel suffocated. "You are very powerful. If you are willing to submit to me, I will guarantee that you will become a supreme being within 10 years. The sky-burning demon emperor looked deeply at Ling Xiao and said, "You are not bad yourself. If you are willing to submit to me and be my mount, I will definitely bring you along on my path to becoming a deity in the future." Ling Xiao replied with a faint smile. The sky-burning demon king turned out to be a pure-blooded divine beast. Its aura was mysterious and overbearing, and it was a divine beast with a familiar flame. It vaguely reminded Ling Xiao of a divine beast from ancient times. "If you are not willing, I will not force you. However, since you have injured this emperor's friends, this emperor will seek justice for them." The sky-burning demon emperor looked at Ling Xiao indifferently and said, "Seek justice? What do you want?" Ling Xiao said faintly, "Take a blow from me. If you can take a blow from me, I will let this matter rest. If you can't, then it is up to fate. Don't blame me," the sky-burning demon emperor said slowly. His expression was still indifferent, as if he did not take Ling Xiao seriously. "A blow?" Ling Xiao smiled. However, his smile was a little cold. The sky-burning demon emperor is really arrogant. He dares to say that he will take Ling Xiao down in a blow. Does he really think that he is a supreme being? Go ahead. I would like to see how powerful the sky-burning demon emperor is. Ling Xiao smiled faintly as a sharp glint flashed across his eyes. Rumble. The heavens and earth shook as a vast and terrifying aura burst out from the sky-burning demon emperor's body. His eyes instantly became extremely bright as if a blazing sun was about to fly out. He took a step forward, causing the heavens and earth to shake as if a giant hammer was beating on a heavenly drum. The mysterious fluctuation caused one's blood to boil, as if one's heart was about to explode. The heavens and earth changed color, as if a storm was coming. The atmosphere was extremely oppressive. Sky-burning demon emperor, with your status. How dare you bully a young man? Are you shameless? Chapter 639. Long Zhantian. The sky-burning demon emperor squinted his eyes, revealing a glint. Among the 9 princes of the Crystal Palace, the most talented one was the 9th prince, Long Outyan. He was a pure-blooded divine beast with the true dragon divine body and unparalleled talent. Unfortunately, he was still too young to mature. Apart from the 9th prince, the first prince, Long Zhantian, was the strongest in terms of talent and combat strength. He was vaguely on par with the sky-burning demon emperor, and was considered to be the strongest opponent in the competition for the demon sage's inheritance. Long Zhantian wore a 5-clawed golden dragon robe and a jade crown. His face was resolute and handsome, exuding the majesty and dominance of the dragon tribe. Beside him, Li Jingming stood straight like a sword, covered in a black robe. His face was cold and his eyes were filled with fighting spirit. His cultivation was unparalleled. Ling Zhao's eyes flickered. He realized that his cheap cousin and Li Jingming's cultivation were much stronger than when they had just entered the holy ground. Obviously, they had also obtained great opportunities. Their bodies were filled with the supreme divine aura, indicating that they had at least passed the earth tribulation. However, Ling Xiao had an intuition that the sky-burning demon emperor was the strongest and most unfathomable among all of them. He wondered how many tribulations the sky-burning demon emperor had passed. Long Zhantian, you're still as impudent as before. Is this how you treat your elders? It seems like the Crystal Palace is filled with a bunch of impudent people. The sky-burning demon emperor glanced at Long Zhantian and said. Long Zhantian sneered. Sky-burning demon emperor, don't try to claim kinship. You're not my elder. The Crystal Palace has nothing to do with the Sky Demon Palace. Nothing to do with us? Your aunt will be my wife soon. By then, I'll be your aunt. How dare you act presumptuously in front of me? The sky-burning demon emperor's eyes flashed with a sharp light. Long Zhantian's face turned cold and he said coldly, Sky-burning demon emperor, are you daydreaming? My aunt will never marry you and my father will never agree to it. You'd better give up. Hearing the sky-burning demon emperor's words, everyone's face turned strange. Everyone had heard about the past between the Sky Demon Palace and the Water Crystal Palace. Who would have thought that the sky-burning demon emperor would still miss the royal princess of the Water Crystal Palace? Ling Zhao's gaze turned cold, revealing a hint of killing intent. He was very clear about who Long Zhantian's aunt was. Long Hanyan was also his mother in this life. Although he had never met Long Hanyan, and did not have much affection for her, she was not someone the sky-burning demon emperor could casually criticize. Ah, Long Zhantian, wait till this emperor inherits the position of demon saint, and becomes the leader of the demon race. At that time, Long Hanyan will be my woman. I will let your Crystal Palace marry her to me in a grand manner. The sky-scorching demon emperor laughed. His voice was filled with boundless dominance. Demonic sage's inheritance? Do you think you're worthy of being the leader of the demon race? Ling Xiao said coldly with a cold glint in his eyes. Long Zhantian's expression changed slightly. He knew that things were bad. This cousin of his was probably infuriated by the sky-burning demon emperor. He hurriedly sent a message to Ling Xiao. Cousin Ling Xiao, don't be impulsive. The Myriad Demon's Palace is about to open. There's no point in fighting now. Wait till we get the demon saint's inheritance, then we'll teach this bastard a lesson. Ling Xiao sneered and replied with a voice transmission. Big cousin, I Ling Xiao, will never delay my revenge. This bastard dared to insult my mother, so he must pay the price. Rumble. Ling Xiao exuded a powerful aura, and walked towards the sky-burning demon emperor step by step. His eyes were dazzling, like two divine swords piercing through the void. Brat, if you want to die, I can fulfill your wish. The sky-burning demon emperor's eyes turned cold as he said indifferently. Although Ling Xiao's combat strength was strong, the sky-burning demon emperor did not take him seriously. Therefore, Ling Xiao's unscrupulous provocation made the sky-burning demon emperor feel offended. Then let's fight. Ling Xiao's lips curled into a cold smile. Rumble. Golden lightning burst out from Ling Xiao's body. It was dazzling, accompanied by a shocking dragon roar. A vast and powerful aura pressed down on the sky-burning demon emperor. Humph! The sky-burning demon emperor snorted. Flames rose around his body. He stomped his feet, and the dazzling divine sun instantly rose into the sky. It was as though the sky had turned into a sea of fire. The scorching flames spread out, making him look like a divine king of fire. The two earth-shattering auras collided instantly. The world shook, and the light was blazing. An extremely oppressive aura spread out. In terms of aura alone, Ling Xiao seemed to be on par with the sky-burning demon emperor. Everyone was shocked, and their eyes were filled with disbelief. Previously, Ling Xiao had killed South Heavenly Venerable and slaughtered the stars of the three-star palaces. Although he was famous, it was nothing in the eyes of peerless skyprides like the Gaochen Star and Ming Zun. However, this time they finally had to take Ling Xiao seriously. He was a rising star, and he was on par with the top peerless skyprides of the current era. Long Zhantian let out a bitter laugh. However, he still unleashed his dragon might and was ready to attack. This cousin of his was too stubborn. He would attack without saying a word. However, as his big cousin, he could not just stand by and watch. If necessary, he had to help. Long Zhantian knew how terrifying the sky-burning demon emperor was. Although Ling Xiao was talented, his cultivation was too weak. He was definitely no match for the sky-burning demon emperor. Boom! The world shook, and golden light spread out. It was like a divine chain of order that crossed the void and collided with the dazzling divine Sunday. Ling Xiao's eyes were filled with fighting spirit. Terrifying fluctuations spread out from his body. He was accumulating his power to unleash a shocking attack. Rumble! However, at this moment, a mysterious and vast aura descended from the sky. The world began to tremble. In the north, chaotic aura spread out. Thousands of colorful lights shone brightly. A hovering palace emerged from the chaos. It was covered in a mysterious black light. It was ancient and majestic. That aura seemed to have experienced the vicissitudes of life for millions of years. Everyone could feel a majestic aura surging toward them. The black palace floated above the 9 heavens. Endless chaotic aura spread out. Heaven and earth trembled violently as if they were cheering and surrendering. Myriad Demon Palace. The Myriad Demon Palace is about to open. Someone exclaimed. His eyes were filled with excitement. It's really the Myriad Demon Palace. The Myriad Demon Palace is about to open. Is the Demon Saint's inheritance going to appear? Ha ha ha. This is a grand event of the demon tribe. We can't miss it. Everyone was boiling with excitement. They were no longer in the mood to watch the battle between Ling Xiao and the sky-burning demon emperor. The sky-burning demon emperor sneered and said, "Kid, I'll deal with you after I get the demon saint's inheritance." Chapter 640. Ah, the demon saint's inheritance has finally appeared. The old goat had already sucked the 3 old monks into dregs, and was flying towards Ling Xiao. His eyes were filled with excitement. Don't worry, the demon saint's inheritance will definitely be yours. Even if my cousin wants to snatch it from you, I'll still help you. Ling Xiao gave the old goat a reassuring look and sent him a telepathic message. At this moment, the excited Long Zhantian also flew over and said, "Cousin Ling Xiao, the demon saint's inheritance can't fall into the hands of the sky-burning demon emperor. You must help me." "Don't worry, cousin. I'll definitely help you." Ling Xiao smiled and said, "Cousin Ling Xiao, you're such a loyal friend. Let's go. Once you get the demon saint's inheritance, you can ask the old man to release Aunt. If he dares to refuse, I'll help you snatch her from the East Ci." Long Zhantian said with a heroic smile. "Thank you, cousin." Ling Xiao smiled bitterly and felt a little guilty. This cheap cousin seems to be a good choice. I'll try not to snatch the demon saint's inheritance from him. I'll snatch it from that bastard, the sky-burning demon emperor. Ling Xiao, the sect master wants me to tell you that you can come to the Shura sect for a chat when you have time. An old friend has invited you, Li Jingming said as he looked at Ling Xiao. He was also very curious. He did not know why the sect master was so interested in Ling Xiao, and even wanted to make Ling Xiao a true disciple of the Shura sect. It should not be just because of Ling Xiao's talent. Perhaps there were other reasons that he did not know. An old friend invited me? Ling Xiao was shocked. In the entire Shura sect, the only person who could be considered an old friend was the Shura Supreme. Could it be that he did not die and was reborn? Ling Xiao's mind was filled with thoughts, but he did not show it on his face. He smiled and nodded in agreement. Everyone gathered towards the Myriad Demon Palace. The Myriad Demon Palace looked like an ancient divine mountain. It was tens of thousands of feet tall, and was surrounded by chaotic energy. It was vigorous and majestic. The Myriad Demon Hall had always been hidden in the depths of the holy ground, protected by an ancient and mysterious formation. Although the holy ground had been opened many times, no one had ever entered the Myriad Demon Hall. In his previous life, Ling Xiao had accidentally entered the hidden space of the Myriad Demon Palace. By chance, he had obtained the sky-devouring secret skill, and met the old goat. However, he did not enter the Myriad Demon Palace. Everyone believed that there must be a demon saint's inheritance in the pantheon of demons. 1,000,000 years ago, the demonic beast saint was the leader of the demonic beast clan. He led hundreds of millions of demonic beast clan experts to fight against the endless extraterrestrial demons. As long as they could obtain the inheritance of the demon saint, they could become the new demon lord. All the experts of the demon clan were boiling with excitement. Their eyes were filled with excitement. Although the Sky Demon Palace, the Mountain of Flames, and the Crystal Palace were the main forces fighting for the demonic sage's inheritance, the other demon clan experts did not give up. Who knows, they might be able to get the demonic sage's inheritance. Chirp! A phoenix's cry shook the heavens and the earth. In the distance, flames burned fiercely and auspicious air surged. A fire phoenix flew across the sky, exuding a monstrous aura. Lin Hui stood on the fire phoenix, looking extremely demonic. His face was very handsome, and he wore a red robe. He looked like an ancient true phoenix that had descended to the world. He looked very coquettish. And Ling Xiao discovered that Lin Hui's body was shining with a brilliant light. He had actually crossed the earth tribulation. In particular, the fire phoenix beneath his feet seemed to be the battle spirit of a fire phoenix. It was clear that he had also encountered a great stroke of good fortune. Junior sister Feng, why aren't you coming over? Don't stand with those riffraff. Lin Hui scolded Phoenix Girl coldly when he saw her. Senior brother Lin, just take care of yourself. You don't have to worry about who I stand with. Phoenix Girl replied indifferently. Good. Very good. Junior Martial Sister Feng, I will report everything that has happened here to Master. Lin Hui said as he looked coldly at Phoenix Girl and Ling Xiao. Brother Lin, it seems that your junior sister from the Blazing Mountain is very shrewish. She doesn't put you in her eyes at all. A faint laughter sounded. In the distance, a young man in a black robe, exuding a deathly aura, walked over slowly. Behind him were two old men, exuding a terrifying aura that could bury heaven and earth. The second saint of the Emperor Tomb Mountain. I didn't expect him to be here too. Legend has it that Saint De has been in seclusion in the Emperor Tomb Mountain, and rarely appears in the War God continent. The second saint is the strongest person in the entire Emperor Tomb Mountain. I didn't expect him to be here too. Someone exclaimed with a trace of surprise in his eyes. You don't have to worry about it. Lin Hui glanced at the second holy son and sneered. He knew that the second saint was one of the sky-burning demon king's men, and must be one of his competitors. Therefore he did not give him any face. The second saint smiled faintly. His gaze fell on Ling Xiao and revealed a trace of sharpness. He turned and walked toward the sky-burning demon king. Brother Lin, I'm not late, am I? At this moment, a loud laughter sounded. The light in the sky was blazing as if a divine sun was slowly descending, exuding a monstrous aura. Brother Zhao, you're finally here. Today, we brothers will join forces. The demon saint's inheritance will belong to us. Lin Hui laughed heartily. His gloomy face finally relaxed. In the void, a young man in a golden robe rode on a golden void-eye beast. The divine sun shrouded behind him. He looked extraordinarily handsome with a jade crown on his head. His face was like jade, and he had a peerless demeanor. However, his face looked very arrogant and incomparably arrogant. His nose was in the air, as if he didn't put anyone in his eyes. Ling Xiao felt a little strange. Who else could this be but Zhao Ritian? He did not expect this guy to be with Lin Hui. Ling Xiao, the demon saint's inheritance will belong to me. After I get it, I'll beat you up until your mother can't recognize you. Zhao Ritian had also noticed Ling Xiao. His eyes flashed as he sneered. Even though Zhao Ritian seemed to only be at the 9th level of the monarch realm, and he hadn't even attained the half-step exalt realm, his body emanated an extremely vast and blazing aura. He was like a scorching sun in the sky that emanated boundless energy of extreme yang. He actually awakened the Sun Saint physique. Ling Xiao's eyes moved. This Zhao Ritian is really an unkillable cockroach. Ling Xiao saw that his life source was extremely powerful, and he had completely awakened the Sun Saint physique. He looked extremely powerful. Ling Xiao's heart moved slightly, but on the surface he smiled faintly and said, Zhao Ritian, you don't have the bloodline of the demon race. How dare you come to snatch the demon saint's inheritance? I'm afraid I won't even have to do anything. You'll be killed by the demon saint. Zhao Ritian sneered and said, So what if I don't have the bloodline of the demon race? I, Zhao Ritian, am the son of the world. I've received the fortune of the heavens and earth. Even the demon saint has to give me the inheritance. All of you can scram. As soon as Zhao Ritian finished speaking, many experts of the demon race immediately glared at him. This guy is simply too arrogant. A mere human wants to get his hands on the demon saint's inheritance. Chapter 641. The sky-burning demon emperor narrowed his eyes. He had heard of Zhao Ritian. He was a new disciple of the master of Sun Palace. He was known as the 10th son of Sun Palace, and had the holy body of the sun. However, this guy was too arrogant. He offended a large group of people with his words. The sky-burning demon emperor did not think that a mere human could obtain the demon saint's inheritance, so he did not think that he was a threat. Only Lin Hui and Long Zhantian could pose a threat to him. Therefore, the sky-burning demon emperor focused most of his attention on Lin Hui and Long Zhantian. He had also arranged for people to deal with Lin Hui and Long Zhantian. More and more people gathered outside the myriad demon palace. Not long after, Sword God Pavilion, Shilua sect, Nine-Headed Fierce Beast clan, Flying Crane clan, countless experts from martial arts holy lands and powerful demon clans arrived. Among them were Jian Yuanchen and Cheng Jia, whom Ling Xiao was familiar with. Everyone was extremely excited to see them. The only thing that puzzled Ling Xiao was that he did not know where Taoist Wuliang had gone. Jian Wushuang, the eldest senior brother of Sword God Pavilion, stood in the air before the myriad demon palace. Sword essence rose around him and a vast and majestic aura spread out. From his eyes, Ling Xiao could only see his dedication to sword principle and indomitable will. Jian Wushuang did not belong to any side, because his eyes were filled with the strongest fighting spirit when he looked at people from any side. Eldest senior brother is a sword maniac. He didn't enter the holy ground this time for any natural treasures or demon saint's inheritance. Instead, he wants to test his sword against all the heroes in the world and challenge all the peerless prodigies in the world. Brother Ling, perhaps he'll come to find you when the time comes. Jian Yuanchen came to Ling Zhao's side and said with a wry smile, Test the sword? That's really bold. Ling Xiao smiled faintly and there was a hint of admiration in his eyes. Jian Wushuang was the first real sword cultivator that Ling Xiao had seen since his rebirth. Of course, Sky Sword Li Ling and Jian Wuk of 8 Desolation region had begun to transform into real sword cultivators after receiving Ling Zhao's guidance. However, there was still a gap between them and Jian Wushuang. Even Ling Xiao felt an extremely strong threat from Jian Wushuang. Rumble. The myriad demon palace spewed out rays of light, and was surrounded by auspicious energy. An endless amount of primordial mist rose from the void. When it completely emerged from the void, the two ancient doors instantly opened. A pure and ancient Xiantian qi gushed out. It was suffused with faint starlight, causing everyone to tremble. All the pores on their bodies opened up. The pantheon of demons is open. Charge! Someone exclaimed and instantly turned into a streak of light, rushing toward the myriad demons' palace. Everyone went crazy, panting heavily. They were incomparably excited as they rushed into the palace one after another. The sky-scorching demon king's eyes flickered with light. He showed a sliver of determination as he led the way into the myriad beasts' palace. Long Zhantian, Li Jingming, Lin Hui, Zhao Ritian, and the others followed closely behind the heaven-burning demon emperor. Let's go! Ling Zhao's eyes flashed as he entered the pantheon of devils with the old goat, the phoenix maiden and the others. Rumble. Endless rays of light flickered as the scene before everyone changed. Finally, they arrived at a vast starry sky. Huge stars circled around in front of them. Endless starlight filled the air. Everyone's eyes were filled with incomparable shock. Inside the myriad demons' palace, it was a vast starry sky. The stars before them were extremely real. Each of them was extremely huge and contained a mysterious power. The stars gathered in the sky as if they had turned into a huge galaxy that appeared before everyone. Could it be that the myriad demons' palace is a huge teleportation formation that has teleported us to the galaxy? Someone guessed with a solemn expression. Their frenzied and excited hearts began to cool down. There was only a vast galaxy in front of them, but there was no sign of the demonic saint's inheritance. 365 stars. Is this the Zhou Tian star formation from the ancient times? Ling Zhao's eyes widened. With his attainments in formations, he immediately realized that this was not the galaxy, but a formation space. There were a total of 365 stars in front of him. The starlight gathered between them and turned into a galaxy, forming an extremely powerful formation. Buzz. At that moment, a ray of light flashed in front of everyone. An old man with white hair and beard appeared before them. However, it was only a shadow and not a complete body. His deep and weathered eyes stared at everyone. Welcome to the myriad demons' palace. The old man smiled faintly. Who are you? Sky-scorching demon emperor's eyes flashed as he asked. I'm the weapon spirit of the myriad demons' palace, and the guardian of the demonic saint's inheritance. You can call me Elder Tian. The old man said slowly. Elder Tian? Is there really the demonic saint's inheritance here? Someone immediately became excited and asked hurriedly. Of course. As long as you pass the demonic saint's test, you can obtain the demonic saint's inheritance. Elder Tian said with a smile. He glanced at everyone. However, when he saw Zhao Ritian, Ling Xiao, and the old goat, he paused for a moment. Especially when his gaze landed on the old goat. A complicated look flashed through his eyes. Elder Tian, may I ask what the demonic saint's test is? How can I obtain the demonic saint's inheritance? The sky-scorching demon emperor immediately brought his fists together and asked. Everyone stared at Elder Tian with their ears open wide, not daring to miss a single word that he was going to say. There are a total of 365 stars in the galaxy in front of you. Each star contains a demonic saint's inheritance. However, the test on each star is different. Only by passing the test will you be able to obtain the demonic saint's inheritance. When you gather 365 demonic saints' inheritances, you will be able to obtain the complete demonic saint's inheritance. Elder Tian pointed at the galaxy in front of them and said with a smile. However, I would like to remind you of a few things. Firstly, only experts with the bloodline of the demonic beasts can obtain the demonic saint's inheritance. It's impossible for humans to obtain the demonic saint's inheritance. Secondly, among the 360 stars, the demonic saint's inheritance is the most precious. However, there are still many treasures that can be obtained by passing the corresponding test. Thirdly, if the person who obtains the demonic saint's inheritance loses it, regardless if it's stolen or given away willingly, the person will lose the right to obtain the inheritance. Fourthly, during the competition for the demonic saint's inheritance, no matter who it is, it's forbidden to use weapons that are above the supreme level. Violators will be killed. Chapter 642. Everyone's eyes flickered slightly. Some were excited, and some were disappointed. Especially the last sentence. It prohibited the use of supreme artifacts. It seemed like the demon saint's inheritance test was to select the person with the greatest natural talent, combat strength, and potential. So, supreme artifacts that went against the balance were excluded. Gaochen Xingzi, Mingzun, and Yama exchanged glances, and their gazes were slightly unsightly. They'd relied on the 3 supreme artifacts to barely survive Ling Xiao. If they weren't allowed to use supreme artifacts, then wouldn't they have no chance at all if they encountered Ling Xiao again? The most important point was that although the 365 stars were very large, they were still quite small compared to the real stars. They were only equivalent to a 10,000 zhang tall divine mountain floating in the endless river of stars. If they could use supreme artifacts, then they could just use them to split open the stars and obtain the inheritance within. Would there be any need for the test? Ling Xiao's heart shook. Looks like the demon saint wants to select a true successor. Otherwise, he wouldn't have left the demon palace behind. Elder Sky, can we kill in the world of stars? The heaven-scorching demon emperor spoke indifferently with a trace of sharpness in his eyes. Many experts who wanted to compete for the demon saint's inheritance couldn't help but feel a chill run down their spines when they heard his words that were filled with killing intent. And their expressions became slightly solemn. The heaven-scorching demon emperor was definitely one of the most popular candidates for the demon saint's inheritance. If they dared to compete with him, then they would probably have to be prepared to die here. Of course. Elder Sky smiled faintly. The world of stars is enveloped by the immeasurable grand formation, and it prohibits all energy that surpasses the exalted realm. So long as you obtain more than one of the demon saint's inheritances, you'll either have to give up the inheritance and be teleported out by the formation or die. As for those who don't possess the bloodline of the demon race, they won't be able to leave the world of stars before the final successor is selected. So, all of you have to think it through. It's not too late to withdraw now. The expressions of many human experts became slightly unsightly. The demon saint was clearly siding with the experts of the demon race. If the experts of the demon race gave up the inheritance, then they could be teleported out by the formation. As for the experts of the human race, they wouldn't be able to leave unless the final successor was selected. In the end, there were actually a few dozen experts from the human race and demon race who gave up on the inheritance. There were too many of them, and most of them were below the monarch realm. Alright, since no one has chosen to withdraw, let's begin. The one who gathers all 365 demonic sage inheritances will be the final demonic sage inheritor. Elder Sky glanced at the crowd and said with a faint smile. His body instantly disappeared before everyone's eyes. Let's go. Sky-burning demon emperor glanced at Ling Xiao, Long Zhantian, Lin Hui and the others. Then he led Sky Demon Palace, Emperor Tomb Mountain, Star Palace, Mingwang Temple, Netherworld Pavilion and the others who had submitted to him and flew towards the stars far away. Ling Xiao, the demonic saint's inheritance will definitely be mine. Just you wait. Zhao Ritian laughed arrogantly and flew away with Lin Hui. Ling Xiao, this guy is too arrogant. But I think he has a lot of good stuff on him. Why don't we find a chance to rob him again? The old goat looked at Zhao Ritian unhappily. No problem. Ling Xiao also smiled. Long Zhantian said to Ling Xiao, Cousin Ling Xiao, you should come with us. If we encounter the sky-burning demon emperor, we can take care of each other. Ling Xiao shook his head and said with a smile, Big cousin, let's split up. There are 365 stars here. If we travel together, the efficiency will be too low. The sky-burning demon emperor has many helpers. We'll definitely have to fight in the end. So, let's split up and search for the demonic sage's inheritance. Long Zhantian thought for a moment and said, All right. Be careful. In the end, Long Zhantian, Li Jingming, and the others left as well. Only Ling Xiao, the old goat, and Phoenix Maiden remained. As for the two half-step honorable realm elders who followed Phoenix Maiden, they were too heavily injured. Phoenix Maiden asked them to wait outside the Myriad Demon Palace and didn't enter. Ling Xiao grabbed the big radish from the Empyrean stone. Master, where is this? The big radish's eyes rolled around. He looked at the Milky Way world in front of him with a shocked expression. This is the Myriad Demon Palace. We're in the Zhoutian star formation. There are 365 stars here. Each star contains a demonic sage's inheritance. Do you have any idea how to find it? Ling Xiao stared at the big radish and asked. Me? I've never been to the Myriad Demon Palace. How would I have any idea? The big radish's eyes flickered as he said with a hollow laugh. You're not being honest. Do you believe that I'll ask the old goat to eat you now? Ling Xiao said with a cold smile. The big radish's body stiffened. He said with a long face, Master, you're a shameless Ling. I've never entered the Myriad Demon Palace. However, I've heard from the Heavenly Demon Divine Tree that there's a Zhoutian star formation in the Myriad Demon Palace. As long as we can break the formation, we'll be able to obtain the demonic sage's inheritance. The Heavenly Demon Divine Tree. How does that guy know about the situation in the Myriad Demon Palace? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. The Heavenly Demon Divine Tree was obviously contaminated by the demonic aura of the extraterrestrial demons. Could there be extraterrestrial demons in the Myriad Demon Palace too? I've only heard about it. The big radish emphasized. The Zhoutian star formation is formed by the divine power of the stars in Zhoutian. It was moved here by the demonic sage's supreme power. Although the star is huge, the demonic sage's inheritance is easy to find. It's basically at the core of the star. Ling Xiao waved his hand and said, Since that's the case, you lead the way. If we find the demonic sage's inheritance, you'll be rewarded. Although the big radish was very unwilling, it still succumbed to Ling Xiao's abuse of power in the end. It began to lead the way obediently. Buzz. The big radish led the way. Ling Xiao and the other two turned into a divine rainbow and instantly passed through the dark void. Under the guidance of the big radish, they arrived at a star at the edge. This star was not big. It was only 100 miles in radius. However, it was filled with endless yellow sand. The wind howled, and there was not a single bit of green in sight. There's the fluctuation of a formation over there. Ling Xiao's gaze shifted and realized that the big radish had already flown forward. Boom. It was a huge sea of sand. The yellow sand surged like huge waves. The surrounding wind swept and spread like blades. And in the endless yellow sand, there was a golden rune floating in the air, emitting a resplendent glow. Is this golden rune the demonic sage's inheritance? Phoenix Girl asked doubtfully. Although the golden rune looked very ancient and mysterious, it did not emit any powerful aura. Chapter 643. Brothers, today our Eternal God Emperor is on the all-channel recommendation. Brothers, you might not know this, but the all-channel recommendation can be said to be the biggest recommendation on the entire website. Those who can get on the all-channel recommendation are all amazing great gods. They will be promoted on all platforms. Today, our Eternal Great Emperor has done it. Muyu is very honored and very excited. Firstly, of course, I have to thank Yuan Corporation. Without this platform, Eternal Great Emperor wouldn't have achieved today's results. Secondly, I have to thank the main editor, Taishan, and my editor, Big Tiger. With your guidance and encouragement, I was able to grasp the entire book's context and write it more smoothly. Especially Big Tiger. Although he is usually very cold, he takes care of Muyu. Muyu remembers this in his heart, and is very grateful. Of course, the most important thing is to thank my dearest brothers. With your support, Muyu can continue writing Eternal Great Emperor. Every time I see the suggestions and criticisms of my brothers in the book review section, Muyu is very happy. It lets me know that I am not fighting alone, and that there are so many brothers accompanying me. Our dearest clan leader, Longtung Huyu, is the commander of the Divine Sky Military, the administrator of the book group, the submoderator of the book review section, and the big brother that Muyu is most grateful to. He would always actively promote Eternal Great Emperor. hoping that more people would read this book and support it. Muyu saw this and remembered it in his heart. This gratitude could not be described with words. There were also Xingxing Jinyan Half Moon Bay, Yuqing Red Moon Yin Tian, Faith Bosom, Shadow Qianyi Long Qijuan, Qinkong Clear Sky. Too many brothers, both those whose names were known and those whose names weren't known, insisted on tipping, voting, and recommending this book. You are all the closest brothers in Muyu's heart. If Muyu didn't write this book well and write an even more exciting story, how could he be worthy of your support? Since October of last year, it had been 6 months since the release of Eternal Emperor. With 1.35 million words, it was an average of 200,000 words per month. This speed was neither slow nor fast. However, in the future, Muyu would continue to release more and more updates to repay everyone's support. Muyu wrote this while on a business trip. The excitement in his heart was indescribable. After returning home at night, he will start writing through the night. Tomorrow, at noon on the 25th, Muyu will start writing 20 chapters. Brothers, are you ready? If he was ready, he would give Muyu all the monthly tickets, recommendation tickets, and rewards. Muyu was full of fighting spirit now. What kind of identity does Ling Xiao have? What is the relationship between the old goat and the demonic saint? Can Ling Xiao save his parents? Who is the Scarlet Dragon War God's daughter? Of course, what everyone was most concerned about was, when would our dearest Jinsei appear? Muyu 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 Mu Mu Muyu 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 Mu Muyu Muyu Mu Muyu Mu Mu Muyu's brothers. Mu Mu Muyu Mu Mu Heaven, Mu Heaven, Heaven and Earth Heaven, Heaven and Earth Heavens and Heaven and Earth. To become Emperor. Mu 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 Mu. Chapter 644. So, it's just a sealing talisman. If my speculations are correct, the Demon Sage legacy should be underneath it. Ling Xiao said, his eyes glittering. Master, you're so awesome. All of the Demon Sage legacies on these 365 planets are sealed by sealing talismans. You have to break the talismans to get the Demon Sage legacy. Unfortunately, there aren't many places where you can find the sealing talismans so easily. You can say we're taking advantage of them. The radish chuckled darkly. The first Demon Sage legacy is the hardest to get, the radish explained. Once you get the first one, you'll be able to sense the locations of the other Demon Sage legacies. And the more you get, the faster you'll be able to collect them. The radish explained. Well, what are we waiting for? Watch me break this sealing talisman. The old goat was the most excited of them all. Ever since he had arrived in this starry river, he had felt a sense of familiarity. Therefore, his desire to get the Demon Sage legacy only grew stronger. Perhaps he really would be able to uncover the mystery of his origins. Rumble. The old goat soared into the sky. Its hooves emitted a golden light, and contained an unparalleled power. It suddenly kicked at the golden rune. Whiz. The golden talisman trembled, and the entire planet began to shine with dazzling light. Chains of order and order appeared, as though the power of the talisman had become one with the planet itself. Not only did the old goat's hooves fail to destroy the golden talisman, they actually bounced back, as though they had slammed into a mountain wall. That's the power of a spell formation. Ling Xiao's eyes glittered. The golden talisman was like the core of the planet, and its power was intertwined. If he wanted to break the talisman, he would have to break through the entire planet. Ling Xiao had the feeling that if he tried to break through the planet with brute force, he wouldn't be able to get the Demon Sage legacy. That said, he didn't think the golden talisman would be that difficult to deal with. Old goat, use the King Heaven Devourer cauldron to devour the power of the talisman. Ling Xiao said. All right, the old goat said, nodding. Just now he had been testing the waters with his attack, but now he knew exactly what the golden talisman was. Rumble. The King Heaven Devourer cauldron flew up into the air, pulsing with a devouring power that shot toward the golden magical symbol. Crimson light swirled around the King Heaven Devourer cauldron, creating a vortex of devouring power that wrapped around the golden magical symbol. The King Heaven Devourer cauldron had its own dimension and magical laws, and as soon as the golden magical symbol lost its connection to the stars, the cauldron assimilated it. Rumble. After the golden rune was completely refined, the center of the desert emitted a dazzling light. A divine light soared to the sky and a white light slowly fell on top of the old goat's head. It was a very magical scene. Is this the demonic sage's inheritance? How magical! Phoenix Maiden exclaimed. This white ball of light was like a wisp of clear air. It looked formless, but it caused the old goat to emit a faint majestic aura. It looks like a sealing mark, Ling Xiao said. But it doesn't stop there. What a miraculous demonic sage's inheritance. That white ball of light actually increased my strength by 10%. It also contains a special type of pressure that can suppress any demonfolk expert. The old goat closed his eyes and said after experiencing it for a while. If a single demonic sage's inheritance can increase my strength by 10%, then wouldn't 365 be 30 times stronger than before? I'd probably be able to kill the heaven-scorching demon emperor with a single fist strike. Ling Zhao's heart was pounding as he realized that the demonic sage's inheritance had such miraculous uses. Unfortunately, there was no way to hide the white ball of light above his head. It was like a live target that would be easily spotted. Ling Xiao suddenly realized that the competition for the demonic sage's inheritance was like raising parasites. Countless parasites would fight over it, and eventually, a parasite king would emerge. And if you were eliminated, you would end up dead. From the looks of it, the fight for the demonic sage's inheritance would only get more and more bloody as it progressed. If those weak demon clan experts were to obtain the demonic sage's inheritance, would they still be willing to hand it over after being intoxicated by the feeling of increasing their strength? But if they didn't hand it over, they would die. Now that the first demonic sage's inheritance has been found, let's go to the next star. As long as we obtain more demonic sage's inheritance, the old goat will become stronger. The big radish said as it led Ling Xiao and the others to the next star. Isn't it a little too easy to obtain the demonic sage's inheritance? Could it be because of the heaven-devouring secret technique? Ling Zhao's heart trembled. When the old goat attacked the golden rune, he felt an indescribable sense of danger. But when the old goat took out the heaven-devourer cauldron and used it to refine the golden rune, it went very smoothly. Could the heaven-devouring secret technique have something to do with the demonic sage? Ling Xiao thought to himself. Undercurrents began to surge throughout the entire world of stars. Among them, the heaven-scorching demon emperor, Lin Hui Longzhantian, and the old goat were the fastest to collect the demonic sage's inheritance. As for the other rogue demon folk, some of them had also obtained the demonic sage's inheritance, but their speed was far slower than the four of them. Buzz. On a planet that was filled with oceans, Zhao Ritian threw a punch across the sky. It was as if the sun was burning the heavens. In an instant, the ocean was incinerated and an azure rune was blasted away. A white ball of light flew out and fused with Lin Hui's head. The ball of light above Lin Hui's head was like a silver moon, dazzling and eye-catching. He had already fused with 38 demonic sages' inheritances. The first demonic sage's ball of light was white, but after 36 it would turn silver. A silver demonic sage's inheritance could create an even greater pressure and double one's strength. Ah, Brother Zhao, when I get the demonic sage's inheritance, I won't forget you. You can choose any of the demonic sage's supreme treasures. Lin Hui laughed heartily, his eyes filled with excitement. Brother Lin, you're being too courteous. Helping you is also helping myself. Zhao Ritian laughed, but in his heart he was laughing coldly. He couldn't wait for Lin Hui to obtain as many demonic sages' inheritances as possible, so that he could snatch them from him. However, it wouldn't be worth it to expose himself now. It was better to feign civility for the time being. Lin Hui and Zhao Ritian both had their own ulterior motives. They quickly flew toward the next star. Rumble. The heaven-scorching demon emperor stood on a star with ancient trees that reached the sky. Flames rose around his body, and divine chains of order swept across the sky, turning countless ancient trees below into dust. A green rune was finally refined by the heaven-scorching demon emperor, and a white ball of light fused with his head. He had already collected 58 demonic sages' inheritances. Chapter 645. Inform Hanfeng and Meng Zhe to come back. Although they have the protection of Gaochen Star and Ming Zun, it will be troublesome if they encounter Ling Xiao and get the Monster Saint's inheritance. The sky-burning demon emperor looked at an old man behind him and said, "Yes," the half-step supreme being old man said respectfully, then turned around and left the star. The sky-burning demon emperor also split into 3 groups. He led the elders of the Sky Beastman Palace in one group. Hanfeng collected the Monster Saint's inheritance under the protection of the Gaochen Star and Ming Zun. The other genius disciple of the Sky Beastman Palace, Meng Zhe, was under the protection of the Second Holy Sun and Yen Luo. The 3 groups collected the Monster Saint's inheritance quickly and gathered it on the sky-burning demon emperor, allowing him to obtain a large amount of the Monster Saint's inheritance. The sky-burning demon emperor, Lin Hui, Long Zhantian and the others knew that it was only a temporary peace. A great battle would break out between them sooner or later. As long as they did not want to give up on the Monster Saint's inheritance, the final battle was inevitable. It all depended on who was more powerful. Boom. Above a yellow star filled with mysterious yellow earth chi, Long Zhantian soared up from the ground and cut off a huge mountain range in half. A yellow rune was refined by him. A white ball of light rushed out from it and merged with Long Zhantian's head. 45 Monster Saints inheritance. That's not fast. I wonder how much cousin Ling Xiao has collected. Long Zhantian looked at the Monster Saint's inheritance above his head and felt the majestic power in his body. His eyes were filled with satisfaction. I'm afraid Ling Xiao's speed is not fast. On the other hand, the sky-burning demon emperor has more people on his side. I'm afraid he has already collected a lot of the Monster Saint's inheritance. Li Jingming looked at Long Zhantian and said slowly, "The sky-burning demon emperor? There will be a final battle. However, the Monster Saint's inheritance can increase one's combat strength. I'm afraid 100 Monster Saint's inheritance can increase one's combat strength by 2 to 3 times. That's a terrifying power. I'm afraid not even a supreme weapon can achieve that." Long Zhantian's eyes turned solemn. He knew how terrifying the sky-burning demon emperor was. The Monster Saint's strength was already extremely powerful. With the addition of the Monster Saint's inheritance, it would be extremely terrifying. However, he could not back down from this battle. No matter what, he could not allow the Demon Saint's inheritance to fall into the hands of the sky-burning demon emperor. Let's go to the next star. Long Zhantian took a deep breath, and his eyes revealed a trace of sharpness. He beckoned Li Jingming and flew away. Pure yang qi permeated the air of a resplendent star, and a dazzling white rune appeared. However, it was instantly devoured by a 3-legged, 2-eared cauldron. The old goat's body was shining brightly. The silver light above his head was gorgeous, and there was a hint of golden luster. 64 demonic sage legacies. With the help of the King Heaven Devourer cauldron, the old goat had the most demon sage legacy, 64. A powerful aura emanated from his body. With the support of the 64 demonic saint inheritances, his current strength had nearly doubled, and his entire body exuded an extremely dangerous aura. Master, I can already sense that most of the demon sage's inheritance has been taken away by someone. Isn't it too slow for us to search the stars one by one? The big radish rolled its eyes and chuckled. Oh, what do you have in mind? Ling Xiao asked. Master, let's go rob. I'm afraid that many of the fat sheep have been fattened up, and it's time to harvest them. As long as we rob a rich family, the demon sage's inheritance on us will increase exponentially. The big radish laughed treacherously. The old goat slapped the big radish, causing it to jump in fright. The old goat laughed and said, I have to say you're very wretched, but I like it. Haha. Let's go rob. The demon sage's inheritance above the old goat's head was shining brightly like a full moon. It also emitted traces of golden light, and even the Heaven Devourer secret technique could not conceal its aura. However, Ling Xiao had the Heaven God Stone, which was a powerful weapon. As long as the old goat hid in the Heaven God Stone, the demon sage's inheritance would naturally disappear. Perhaps even the demon sage would not have imagined that Ling Xiao would have the Heaven God Stone. The demon sage's intention was that the demon sage's inheritance above everyone's head could not be concealed. It was as bright as a lamp, not to mention ambushing the others. As long as they were close enough, the others would know immediately. With the Heaven God Stone, Ling Xiao was basically cheating. As long as he controlled the Heaven God Stone and sneaked up to the target, even the sky-scorching demon emperor would be in trouble if Ling Xiao and the old goat were to ambush him. That's a good idea. I saw Han Feng heading in that direction under the protection of the Gaochen Starchild and Ming Zun. Why don't we rob Han Feng? Ling Xiao's eyes flickered as he said with a smile. Han Feng had already been robbed by Ling Xiao once. He probably wouldn't have thought that he would be targeted by Ling Xiao this time. Great idea, let's do Han Feng. The old goat and the big radish exchanged glances with one another, and said with cunning smiles. The Phoenix Maiden twisted her lips. What kind of people are they? They are simply bandits. How can they be so righteous when they are robbing? Now most of the successions of the beast's sacred beasts have been divided up. I'm afraid the sky-scorching demon emperor, Lin Hui, and my cousin will target the rogue beasts first. The final successor will be one of the sky-scorching demon emperor, Lin Hui, and my cousin. However, they would not have expected you to be their competitor. Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a trace of a smile as he spoke slowly. That's called taking them by surprise. When the time comes, we will knock the sky-scorching demon emperor, Lin Hui, and your cousin out of the blue. Then, the demon sage's inheritance will naturally belong to me. Let's go. We will rob Han Feng first, then we will target the rogue demon race. The old goat's eyes lit up as he urged Ling Xiao impatiently. In the end, Ling Xiao, the old goat, the Phoenix Maiden, and the big radish entered the Heaven God Stone. Under Ling Xiao's control, the Heaven God Stone turned into a speck of dust and shot into the starry sky. On a gigantic blue star, there was a vast ocean everywhere. Endless water vapor filled the air, and it was extremely dazzling. Huge waves surged and swept high into the sky. Violent winds and torrential rain filled the sky. Countless thick lightning bolts struck down as if it was the end of the world. In the middle of the ocean, there was a blue rune. All the violent winds, torrential rain, and lightning were emitted by the blue rune. Chapter 646. At this moment, Han Feng, the Gaochen Starchild, and Ming Zun were working together to attack the blue rune. Rumble, 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 rumble. The blue rune grew dimmer and dimmer, but its power grew more and more terrifying until it finally exploded. A white ball of light flew out. Instantly, 36 balls of light gathered above Han Feng's head. They completely turned into a silver full moon. It was dazzling. Haha. Finally, 36 demonic sage inheritances. That's not easy. Han Feng's eyes shone with excitement. At this moment, a beam of light appeared in the distant starry sky. It was an old man in a black robe, a half-step demon sovereign. He quickly came to Han Feng's side. Elder Wang, why are you here? Han Feng asked in surprise. Second Highness, the First Highness is worried that Ling Xiao might ambush you and Meng Zhe. He asked me to summon you back. After all, you've collected quite a few demonic sage inheritances. Elder Wang said with a smile. Ling Xiao? He thinks he can ambush me? If he dares to come, I'll make sure he never comes back. I'll make sure he dies here. Han Feng sneered. Now that he had gathered 36 demonic sage inheritances, his strength had doubled. This immediately boosted his confidence and made him feel a little dizzy. Is that so? At this moment, a mocking voice suddenly sounded in Han Feng's ears. Ling Xiao's figure flashed and appeared beside Han Feng in an instant. He reached out and grabbed Han Feng by the neck, lifting him up. The old goat turned into a beam of light and shot toward Elder Wang from the heavenly demon palace. Rumble. The light was blazing, and the old goat's body exuded a majestic aura. Its strength was already extremely strong, and with the addition of the power of the demonic saint's inheritance, it caught Elder Wang off guard. Elder Wang's head was crushed by the old goat's kick. Bam! Elder Wang's body exploded, his eyes filled with terror. His nascent divinity tried to escape, but the old goat's King Heaven Devourer cauldron wrapped around it and suppressed it. Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao, what are you doing? Let go of Han Feng. Gao Chen Xingzi and Ming Zun's eyes were filled with shock as they revealed an extremely cold expression. Ling Xiao didn't even look at the two of them. He stared at Han Feng and smiled. Do you want to live or die? If you want to live, hand over the demonic sage's inheritance, and I'll spare your life. If you want to die, I'll kill you and snatch your demon sage's inheritance. Ling Xiao, you're shameless. Han Feng's face was flushed red, and he felt like he was about to suffocate. He stuttered as he looked at Ling Xiao with eyes that were about to spit fire. He had just finished saying that he was going to kill Ling Xiao when Ling Xiao appeared. Furthermore, Ling Xiao grabbed him like he was grabbing a lamb. Han Feng was so depressed that he was on the verge of tears. This Ling Xiao seemed to have a grudge against him. Previously, he had robbed him at the Demon Saint Cliff, and now he was doing it again. Are you really not afraid of death? Ling Xiao smiled faintly. His palm emitted a bright light. With a slight force, Han Feng immediately felt his scalp go numb. The threat of death enveloped his heart. He was so frightened that he hurriedly shouted, "Don't kill me. I'll give you the demon sage's inheritance." A wise man submits to circumstances. Han Feng, you're indeed very sensible. Ling Xiao smiled faintly and relaxed his grip. Although Han Feng's heart was filled with hatred, he could only hand over the 36 demon sage's inheritance dejectedly. Buzz. After the silver full moon above Han Feng's head merged with the old goat's head, the old goat's demon sage's inheritance instantly increased to 100. The originally bright silver moon instantly turned into a pure gold color. It was like a divine sun, emitting a blazing light. The old goat instantly felt that his strength had increased by 3 times under the support of this golden divine sun. I've already given you the demon sage's inheritance. Can you let me go now? Han Feng said dejectedly. His eyes were filled with unwillingness. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. I said I'll spare your life, but I didn't say I'll let you go. Bastard Ling Xiao, you shameless villain. You didn't keep your word. Han Feng was so angry that his entire body trembled. His eyes were about to spit fire. Bang! Ling Xiao's palm landed and knocked Han Feng unconscious. Then he kept him in the Sky God Stone. The two of you, it's time to settle the score between us. Ling Xiao said with a smile as he looked at the star of Gao Chen and Ming Zun. The star of Gao Chen and Ming Zun trembled as they knew something was wrong. Previously, the star of Gao Chen, Ming Zun, and Yen Luo, the 3 peerless geniuses and 3 supreme weapons, were no match for Ling Xiao. Now that supreme weapons were banned, how could they possibly be a match for Ling Xiao? Moreover, the old goat was glaring at them. The hundreds of demon sages' inheritance gave them immense pressure. Ling Xiao, you've already snatched Han Feng's demon sage's inheritance. Aren't you afraid that the sky-burning demon emperor will come after you? The star of Gao Chen said coldly as he looked at Ling Xiao. Ming Zun said slowly, if you let us go, the score between you and the Ming Wang Temple will be written off. I promise that I won't cause you any trouble in the future. Ming Zun was straightforward. He knew that he was no match for Ling Xiao. Hence, he raised his conditions. Won't cause me any trouble? It's a pity that the two of you will still have to die. Ling Xiao smiled faintly as a cold glint flashed across his eyes. Boom. Heaven and earth shook as Ling Xiao's body exuded a majestic golden glow. He threw a punch at the star of Gao Chen and Ming Zun. Ha ha ha. Ling Xiao, leave this bald donkey to me. Let's see who will take care of them first. Not to be outdone, the old goat also charged forward. His black fur was covered in a layer of faint golden light. He kicked at Ming Zun with his hooves and a blinding ray of light shot towards Ming Zun's bald head. Ling Xiao, you deserve to die. The star of Gao Chen and Ming Zun's faces changed. They had not expected Ling Xiao to be so determined to take their lives. Even when they had surrendered, Ling Xiao did not hesitate at all. Boom. Both of them had a crazed look in their eyes. They knew that they would not be able to survive today. Hence, they decided to fight with their lives on the line. The power of the stars in the surroundings spread out and was absorbed and refined by the Gao Chen star. He was like the master of the stars. His body was covered in silver light, and he charged towards Ling Xiao with the starlight in the sky. Kai. Silver lightning bolts exploded one after another, causing the void to tremble violently. An earth-shattering dragon roar rang out, and the Gaochen star was directly sent flying 100 zhang away by Ling Zhao's punch. Swoosh! Ling Zhao's body was like a bolt of golden lightning. His eyes were as cold as steel as he threw a punch at the star of Gaochen. Chapter 647. Thousand Star Flying God Technique, Kill. The Gaochen star's eyes were filled with madness as he shouted. Instantly, the entire galaxy in Zhoutian started to tremble. The Gaochen star was the Emperor star. In ancient legends, it was second only to the Emperor star. It was able to command all the stars in the sky. The Gaochen star had the Gaochen fate chart. Therefore, in this galaxy, he was able to mobilize the power of the stars and increase his combat strength. Rumble. The 365 stars started to tremble. Rays of starlight gathered and surged towards the Gaochen star. Finally, a silver figure was formed in the sky. His head was in the sky and his feet were in the sky. His body was filled with divine aura. He was like a god of the stars as he threw a punch towards Ling Xiao. Kacha. Strands of silver lightning exploded. Like a mountain crossing the sky, majestic and incomparably vast. The god shadow formed by the Gaochen star's starlight actually had a murderous intent that could destroy everything. Kill. Ling Zhao's eyes shone brightly. He held the invincible fist seal in his hands and executed the 7 limits divine skill of devouring heaven and earth. The 5 elements heaven sealing style rose into the sky and turned into a huge 5 elements world, shrouding the god shadow. Ling Xiao could tell that even though the godly spirit shadow formed by the Gaochen star was strong, its godly power came from the stars in the sky. As long as the power of the stars was sealed, this so-called godly spirit shadow would be like water without a source. It wouldn't be able to create any waves. Rumble. Ling Xiao soared into the sky and the 5 elements world shrouded him and the Gaochen star. His killing intent was surging and the light was blazing. The power of the laws in the surrounding void seemed to be cut off instantly. Kacha. Ling Xiao threw out a punch, and the god spirit's shadow, which was originally extremely powerful, exploded into nothingness. Ling Xiao then continued to attack the Gaochen star. What? Gaochen Xingzi's face changed. The 1,000-star flying god skill was the strongest supreme killing skill that he had mastered. In the Milky Way, he could unleash a power that was several times stronger than before. But in the end it was still broken by Ling Xiao. Rumble. His galaxy bell was extremely powerful. If he were to use it, even Ling Xiao would not be able to break through the defense of a supreme weapon. However, this damned myriad demon palace actually forbade the use of supreme weapons, causing the Gaochen star to hesitate. Crack. The Gaochen star child's chest was smashed by Ling Xiao's fist. The star robe on his body shone brightly as the runes on it exploded. In the end, it was actually broken apart by Ling Zhao's fist. Puff. The Gaochen star spat out a mouthful of blood as his face instantly turned pale. His eyes were filled with disbelief. He could not imagine that a mere noble plain kid could unleash such terrifying combat strength. Ling Xiao, you forced me to do this. Go to hell. Gaochen Xingzi roared as his eyes were filled with intense killing intent. He instantly activated the Sovereign Dao mark between his eyebrows. This was also his greatest trump card, and he hoped that the full force strike of an exalted expert would be able to completely annihilate Ling Xiao. Rumble. An earth-shattering explosion was heard as the Gaochen star's forehead split open. A white-robed, white-haired young man slowly walked out. He was surrounded by a terrifying supreme divine aura, causing the entire galaxy in Zhoutian to tremble violently. He stared at Ling Xiao and struck out with his palm. Crack. The void trembled violently as the boundless power of the stars gathered towards him. Eventually, a huge star seal was formed in his palm as it pressed down on Ling Xiao. It was as if Mount Tai was pressing down on Ling Xiao. The star seal seemed to have expanded to 10,000 feet in size. It carried with it a supreme divine aura that could suppress everything and shatter the heavens and earth. Ling Zhao's gaze turned solemn. When he attacked the Gaochen star, he knew that he would be attacked by the supreme Dao mark. However, he saw this as a form of training against a true supreme expert. King Heaven Devourer Cauldron, 10,000 heavenly rivers. Assimilate it. A look of madness appeared in Ling Xiao's eyes as the three-legged, two-eared cauldron flew out of him, shining with dazzling light as it devoured all of the power of the stars, including the sovereign Tao mark. Ruiyuyimbul. The King Heaven Devourer Cauldron trembled, and dazzling golden lightning shot out. Mysterious magical laws surrounded it as it attempted to assimilate the sovereign Tao mark. The King Heaven Devourer Cauldron wasn't a paragon item, but it surpassed it. It was born from Ling Xiao's essence, and was the source of his greatest power in both his past and present lives. Furthermore, the King Heaven Devourer Cauldron was formed from the nine-tailed heaven fox's pearl of the world, and it was incredibly tough and powerful. The sovereign Tao mark trembled violently, and the terrifying might emanating from it caused Ling Xiao to cough up a mouthful of blood and injure his nascent divinity. But in the end, the King Heaven Devourer Cauldron was able to assimilate the sovereign Tao mark. That said, Ling Xiao knew that the Gaochen star only had one of the sovereign Tao marks in his sea of consciousness. If he were to fight a paragon, there was no way that paragon would give him a chance to assimilate the sovereign Tao mark. Perhaps a paragon would be able to pierce through the King Heaven Devourer Cauldron. Trying to run? A cold glint flashed across Ling Xiao's eyes. He saw that the Gaochen star child was trying to escape by using the sovereign Tao mark, so he immediately charged over. The heaven-scorching demon emperor won't let you get away with this, Ling Xiao. Neither will the Starry Palace. Even if I die, you'll pay for it with your life. A look of madness appeared in the Gaochen star's eyes. Unexpectedly, he was a very decisive person. Blazing light erupted from him, and the power of his nascent divinity surged as he prepared to self-detonate. You won't be able to self-detonate in front of me. Rumble. Ling Xiao punched out, and God power erupted, causing the Gaochen star's fleshly body to explode. The wordless heavenly tome sent out a chain of order that pierced through the Gaochen star's forehead and suppressed his nascent divinity. Meanwhile, the battle between the Reverend Ming and the old goat was going to end without any suspense. The old goat's cultivation base wasn't any weaker than the Reverend Ming's. They were both half-paragons, and he had 3 times the demon sage's legacy. In the end, he managed to assimilate the Reverend Ming, whose nascent divinity was suppressed by the King Heaven Devourer Cauldron. However, the starry river bell in the Gaochen star, and the sea-suppressing pearl in the Reverend Ming turned into beams of light that pierced through the void. Ling Xiao couldn't stop them even if he wanted to. The starry river bell and the sea-suppressing pearl were both paragons, so when the Gaochen star and the Reverend Ming died, they naturally returned to their masters. In the same way that Ling Xiao had killed Zhang Xuhao and the others, the Heaven Devourer Cauldron sword had flown away. Paragon items had their own item spirits, and had their own thoughts and thoughts. Therefore, only the master of the item could control it. Chapter 648. Let's leave this place first. Ling Xiao and the old goat looked at each other and smiled. They then entered the heavenly stone, and left the star quickly. In this battle, they had robbed Han Feng of his 36 demonic sage inheritances, and killed the Gaochen star and Ming Zun. It was a great harvest. The sky-burning demon emperor must be fuming right now. Swoosh. Not long after Ling Xiao left, the sky-burning demon emperor led a group of experts from the Sky Demon Palace to the star. However, other than the aura and traces left behind by the battle, they did not find anything. Han Feng, Elder Wang, the Gaochen star and Ming Zun were killed so quickly? Han Feng has many demonic sage inheritances. Could it be Long Zhantian or Lin Hui? An elder from the Sky Demon Palace asked angrily and doubtfully. It's not Long Zhantian or Lin Hui. The sky-burning demon emperor looked gloomy and said slowly, I have sent people to monitor Long Zhantian and Lin Hui. They are not on this star. It must be Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao. Hearing this name, all the elders from the Sky Demon Palace looked solemn. Only he has the strength and reason to kill Gaochen Xingzi and Ming Zun. However, I am curious. We sensed a powerful expert from the demonic tribe who has collected 100 demonic sage inheritances. He must be Ling Xiao's companion. However, the aura has disappeared. This means that Ling Xiao and his companions have a way to hide the aura of the demonic sage inheritances. The sky-burning demon emperor's eyes lit up. His heart was aching. Including Mengze's demonic sage inheritances, he had only collected 82 demonic sage inheritances. However, Ling Zhao's companion had already collected 100 demonic sage inheritances. Han Feng must have contributed greatly to this. Hiding the aura of the demonic sage inheritances? Ling Xiao and his companions have such a method? Everyone was in disbelief. Even the sky-burning demon emperor could not hide the aura of the demonic sage inheritances. How did Ling Xiao do it? We have to speed up. From now on, we have to hunt down those independent demonic cultivators at all costs. We have to get all the demonic sage inheritances from them. In the end, me, Long Zhantian, Lin Hui, and perhaps Ling Zhao's mysterious companion will be added. There will be a great battle between the four of us. The sky-scorching demon emperor said decisively with a cold glint in his eyes. Now that Han Feng had been taken away by Ling Xiao, the sky-scorching demon emperor felt a sense of urgency. In the following time, the sky-scorching demon emperor, Lin Hui, and Long Zhantian all avoided each other tacitly and attacked the rogue demon cultivators. Those rogue cultivators of the demon clan were completely in trouble. Some of them wanted to fish in troubled waters, but the demon sage's inheritance above their heads was like a giant guiding light. There was no way to hide even if they wanted to. Most of the itinerant demon cultivators were rather tactful. They all chose to hand over the demon sage's inheritance. Only a few of them wanted to put up a fight, but they were all killed in the end. As Ling Xiao and the old goat had the celestial god's stone to conceal their auras, their speed of collecting was the fastest. In the end, they collected a total of 118 demon saint inheritances. The sky-scorching demon emperor had also collected 100 successions of sacred beasts. Long Zhantian had collected 77 demonic sage inheritances. Only Lin Hui and Zhao Ritian had collected the least, only 70. Ling Xiao hid in the celestial god stone and devoured the supreme superpowers in the primordial spirits of Mingzun, Gaochen Xingzi, Elder Wang, and the 3 old monks from Mingwang Temple. The number of supreme superpowers in his sea of consciousness had increased to a shocking 99. With 99 supreme superpowers, Ling Xiao felt that he had reached a kind of limit. He had to break through to the next realm. If he did not break through to the next realm, something terrifying might happen. However, Ling Zhao's eyes were still filled with determination. I must collect all 108 supreme superpowers. As long as I kill the king of hell of the underworld pavilion and gather all 9 supreme superpowers, I will be able to break through to the next realm. Ling Zhao's eyes shone brightly. It seemed like there would be a battle between him and the sky-scorching demon emperor. He had never had a good impression of an assassin organization like the underworld pavilion. This group of people who lived in the dark were cold-blooded and merciless. They lived to kill. As long as Ling Xiao encountered them, he would definitely kill them all. Rumble. On a star in the distance, there was an earth-shattering dragon's roar. A sea of fire rose up, and the cries of phoenixes filled the sky. An intense battle broke out. Ling Xiao, it seems like your big cousin is fighting with Lin Hui, the old goat said. Now, all the demonic sage's inheritances had gathered on the old goat, the sky-scorching demon emperor, Long Zhantian, and Lin Hui. Ling Xiao did not expect Long Zhantian to fight with Lin Hui first. Let's go and take a look. Don't let the sky-scorching demon emperor take advantage of us. Ling Zhao's eyes shone brightly. In an instant, he and the old goat dashed toward the star. Rumble. It was a metal star. It was emitting golden light, and there was a sharp metal aura surging everywhere. There was a kind of unparalleled sharpness. The battle between Long Zhantian and Lin Hui had reached the most intense stage. In the void, Long Zhantian and Lin Hui revealed their true forms. Roar. The dragon's roar shook the heavens and the earth. A green heavenly dragon that was tens of thousands of feet long pounced across the sky. Its green and golden dragon scales shone with a cold light. Its 4 dragon claws seemed to be able to break the heavens and the earth. The majestic and mysterious dragon had burst out mysterious sound waves. It opened its mouth and spat out a green divine light. Swoosh. In front of Long Zhantian was Lin Hui, who had also turned into a fire phoenix. He was tens of thousands of feet tall, and his body was crimson red. Flames were blazing around him, and he was filled with auspicious air. His eyes were filled with cold killing intent. Boom. The fire phoenix's body was covered in raging flames. Its tail seemed to have turned into a heavenly divine sword. It broke through the divine light spat out by Long Zhantian. It crossed the starry void and slashed towards the head of the golden heavenly dragon. Clang! The dragon claw blocked the attack. Sparks flew in all directions, and the void trembled violently. The green dragon scales exploded and pale golden dragon blood filled the air. Long Zhantian was injured. However, his claw swiped across the air and landed on the tail of the fire phoenix, breaking off one of its crimson wings and injuring Lin Hui at the same time. Rumble. The two of them seemed to be in a real fight. The heavens and the earth were blazing and the void trembled violently. The entire star burst out with incomparably bright starlight. The green heavenly dragon and the fire phoenix fought fiercely. The terrifying divine power made countless experts of the demon clan, who were watching the battle, tremble. The dragon clan and the phoenix clan were the overlords of the ancient times. They were the supreme divine beasts, and had once dominated the powerful clans of an era. Chapter 649. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. His cousin's bloodline was indeed the Sky Dragon bloodline. Although he had a trace of the true dragon bloodline, he was still a Sky Dragon and not a true dragon. In the entire dragon tribe, only Long Outyin and the current Dragon King were true dragons. Although Lin Hui had the Fire Phoenix bloodline, he was not a pure-blooded Fire Phoenix, and was comparable to Long Zhantian's bloodline power. Therefore, the battle between the two of them was a draw. If the battle continued like this, it was very likely that both sides would suffer great losses. The arrival of Ling Xiao and the old goat caused a commotion. This time, they did not hide in the heavenly god's stone. Instead, they landed on the star openly. On top of the old goat's head, there were a total of 118 demon sage inheritances. They emitted a bright golden light like a divine sun. On top of Long Zhantian and Lin Hui's heads, there were only silver moons. Why does the old goat have so many demon sage inheritances? I've never heard of it. Who is this guy? He looks arrogant. I really want to beat him up and snatch his demon sage inheritances. Do you want to die? Don't you see who's beside him? It's Ling Xiao. No wonder it's Ling Xiao's pet. What is Ling Xiao trying to do? Let his pet obtain the demon sage inheritances? If the old goat becomes the leader of the demon tribe, won't Ling Xiao be above us? When the crowd saw Ling Xiao and the old goat, they began to discuss among themselves. Their eyes were filled with shock. We can't let the old goat obtain the demon sage inheritances. That's right. The sky-scorching demon emperor, Long Zhantian or Lin Hui. I'm convinced no matter who gets it. But who is this old goat? I'm not convinced. If Ling Xiao dares to let him fight for the demon sage inheritances, we'll attack together and kill Ling Xiao and the old goat. Some of the demon tribe's radicals even had a fierce look in their eyes. Bastards, these guys are courting death. The old goat could not hold back his temper any longer. His eyes were filled with killing intent. These guys dared to say that he was Ling Xiao's pet? He was the sky-devouring great emperor. Who dared to be his master? These guys were all looking down on him. Just as the old goat was about to explode, Ling Xiao held him down and said, "Don't be impulsive, the sky-burning demon emperor is here." The old goat's eyes suddenly flashed. He saw a dazzling light in the distance. The sky-burning demon emperor was flying over with a golden sun above his head. He was followed by a group of strong cultivators. Other than the elders from Sky Demon Palace, there were also experts from Emperor Tomb Mountain, Star Palace and Mingwang Temple. When they saw Ling Xiao, there was a cold murderous intent in their eyes. Gaochen Xingzi Mingzun, and the rest had all died in Ling Xiao's hands. They couldn't wait to tear Ling Xiao into pieces. However, with the presence of the sky-burning demon emperor, they all believed that Ling Xiao was dead for sure. Even if Ling Xiao was still alive, they had decided to report the matter to their factions after leaving the sacred ground, and asked the Nine Heavens Supremes to kill Ling Xiao. Ling Zhao's talent was truly too terrifying, causing them to be unable to eat or sleep in peace. If they could not get rid of him as soon as possible, he would definitely become a great enemy. Ling Xiao hand over Han Feng. The sky-burning demon emperor looked at Ling Xiao and said indifferently. Han Feng's primordial spirit was not shattered. Hence, the sky-burning demon emperor knew that Ling Xiao did not kill Han Feng, but only captured him. Han Feng? Sky-burning demon emperor, I have never seen Han Feng. Ling Xiao said with a faint smile. Naturally, he would not admit that he had captured Han Feng. It doesn't matter if you don't admit it. After I kill you, I will search your soul and find Han Feng's whereabouts. The sky-burning demon emperor said indifferently with a trace of murderous intent in his eyes. Your Highness, there is no need for you to deal with this brat. Let me do it for you. The second saint of Emperor Tomb Mountain, who was standing beside the sky-burning demon emperor, said with a faint smile. All right, be careful. This brat has many tricks up his sleeves. I will go and retrieve the demonic sage's inheritance first. The sky-burning demon emperor smiled faintly. Immediately, he strode towards Long Zhantian and Lin Hui who were fighting in the void, and threw out a simple punch. Crack. The heavens and earth trembled. It was as if the punch had broken the heavens and earth apart, causing a chaotic mist to appear. Long Zhantian and Lin Hui were startled. They were both knocked back by the sky-burning demon emperor's punch. And you? The sky-burning demon emperor's eyes flickered as he too threw a punch at the old goat. A giant palm print landed with a peerless might. Crack. The old goat straightened his face. At that instant, he could feel the sky-burning demon emperor's strength skyrocketing, as if he was infinitely close to the nine heavens' supreme realm. Even the stars in Zhou Tian began to tremble. Bang! The old goat and the sky-scorching demon emperor clashed head-on, and the sky-scorching demon emperor sent him flying. Don't be so troublesome. The three of you can come at me together. I will show you the true meaning of despair. The demonic sage's inheritance will only belong to me. The sky-burning demon emperor was full of confidence. His eyes flickered as a terrifying aura was unleashed from his body. Above his head, 3 streams of clear air flew out and turned into 3 mysterious flowers. At the same time, a 5-colored stream of air spread out from his chest and encapsulated him, giving him a mysterious and imperious appearance. This is 3 flowers at one's prominence, 5 cheese unification. The sky-burning demon emperor has already overcome the tribulation of the 4 symbols. Someone exclaimed, his eyes filled with disbelief. There were 5 major tribulations in the half-supreme realm. The tribulation of earth, the tribulation of black water, the tribulation of heavenly wind, the tribulation of blazing fire, and the tribulation of supreme. The tribulation of earth was the tribulation of the flesh. After overcoming it, one's flesh would be flawless, perfect, and clear. The tribulation of black water was the tribulation of true qi. After overcoming it, one's true qi would be endless and return to the heavens and earth. It was endless and ever-changing. The tribulation of heavenly wind was the tribulation of the primordial spirit. After overcoming it, one's primordial spirit would be pure yang, allowing one to see through everything and comprehend the laws of nature. The tribulation of blazing fire was the tribulation of the 5 vital organs. After overcoming it, one's 5 qis unification would be one with Zhou Tian, and he would be only half a step away from becoming a real supreme. The final tribulation of the 9 heavens supreme was to refine the God force, open up the world, and comprehend the origin of the heavenly Tao. Only then would one be able to achieve the 9 heavens supreme realm. The 5 tribulations could be described as a life and death situation. Many of the older generation were trapped in the 5 tribulations, unable to improve their cultivation for the rest of their lives. Meanwhile, Long Zhantian and Lin Hui were able to overcome the tribulation of earth in such a short time, due to the fortunate encounters they had in the sacred ground. Although the old goat had recovered from his injuries and his cultivation of the half-supreme realm, he had yet to overcome any of the tribulations. Each tribulation would result in a great difference in strength. Chapter 650. No wonder he dared to challenge Long Zhantian, Lin Hui, and the old goat on his own. Even the three of them combined would not stand a chance against him. Besides, no one knew what the sky-scorching demon emperor's true form was, but everyone knew that he must be a pure-blooded godly beast. His strength was utterly despairing. Let's go together. Long Zhantian, Lin Hui, and the old goat exchanged glances with one another, and saw the solemn look in each other's eyes. Regardless of how competitive they were, they had no choice but to team up at this moment. Otherwise, they would be defeated by the sky-scorching demon emperor. In that case, the sky-scorching demon emperor would be able to achieve a breakthrough to the Nine Heavens Supreme Realm after obtaining the sacred beast's succession. Kill. An intense battle broke out in an instant. Long Zhantian, Lin Hui, and the old goat executed their peerless killing techniques and charged toward the sky-scorching demon emperor. Bang! The sky-scorching demon emperor looked indifferent. He took a step forward and the sky shook. He punched out and the stars in the sky shook. Endless starlight gathered and turned into a fist that looked like a mountain and moon. It instantly enveloped the three of them. On the other side, Ling Zhao's eyes also revealed a trace of seriousness. The sky-scorching demon emperor's strength had exceeded his imagination. A tribulation realm 4 symbols. In addition to the fact that the sky-scorching demon emperor was a pure-blooded godly beast, his current combat strength was not any weaker than a real Nine Heavens Supreme. I must achieve a breakthrough as soon as possible. Ling Xiao felt a sense of urgency. The gap between his strength and the sky-scorching demon emperor's was too huge. Only by achieving the martial emperor realm would Ling Xiao be able to compete with the sky-scorching demon emperor, with the help of various secret techniques. Besides, Ling Xiao had a feeling that Long Zhantian, Lin Hui, and the old goat would not last long against the sky-scorching demon emperor. Ling Xiao, I heard that my useless 6th junior brother has also come to the sacred ground, but I haven't seen him around. Did you kill him? The second saint glanced at Ling Xiao and said calmly. He had a slender figure, and wore a black robe. His black hair danced in the wind, and his face was handsome. His eyes were as bright as the stars, and he was emitting a faint aura of a supreme. The second saint had also overcome the tribulation of earth. Your 6th junior brother? I'm sorry, I've killed too many people, so I don't remember. Ling Xiao said indifferently. Kill him. Don't waste your breath on him. Kill this little bastard. Elders from Star Palace, Mingwang Temple and other martial arts sanctuaries surrounded Ling Xiao. Their eyes were filled with murderous intent, and they were exuding an extremely powerful aura. These genius disciples of the Holy Land of Martial Arts had died at the hands of Ling Xiao. They would definitely not be able to absolve themselves from the blame. Only by killing Ling Xiao would they be able to alleviate some of their guilt. All of them hated Ling Xiao to the extreme. Cold murderous intent locked onto Ling Xiao. Since you're in such a hurry to die, I'll fulfill your wishes. Despite being surrounded by so many strong cultivators, Ling Xiao showed no signs of fear. He smiled faintly and attacked in an instant. Rumble. Ling Xiao moved like lightning. His gaze was cold, and he threw a punch at a silver-haired elder from Star Palace. Little bastard, you deserve to die. The silver-haired elder roared at the sky. His body was filled with murderous intent. He suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood essence. Countless starry divine chains emitted rays of blood-red light across the sky and wrapped around Ling Xiao. He only hoped to bind Ling Xiao for a moment, and create an opportunity for others to kill Ling Xiao. Rumble. The other half-step Supreme Being experts displayed their powerful killing techniques. Their divine skills filled the sky. Their quasi-Supreme Being weapons were filled with powerful divine power. Some of them even detonated their secret treasures. They all knew that Ling Xiao's combat strength was extremely strong. Therefore, they wanted to kill Ling Xiao even at the cost of their own lives. In the void, divine light surged and lightning intertwined. Countless powerful fluctuations erupted and seemed to drown Ling Xiao. Kacha. Ling Xiao's body shone brightly. A terrifying dragon's roar shook the heavens and earth. He instantly broke the starry divine chains around him and threw a punch at the silver-haired elder. Bang! The silver-haired elder's eyes were filled with disbelief. He had been blown apart by Ling Xiao's punch. The King Heaven Devourer cauldron flashed and instantly suppressed the silver-haired elder's primordial spirit. First, I'm going to kill all of you. Ling Zhao's eyes flickered with blood-colored killing intent. Golden blood energy surged around him as he thrust his palm out, causing heaven and earth to tremble. Instantly, the divine abilities that were bearing down on him were suppressed. Godlight of the four mammoths shot up into the sky, causing profound yellow energy to rise up from the ground. A black sea rose up into the sky, and a heavenly wind caused everything to tremble. The four mammoths' heaven-striking style was unleashed. Ling Zhao's fist descended with the power of the four mammoths, causing primal chaos to swirl around him. Crack! He broke the devil-subduing pestles of the two monks from the Bright King Temple, then slapped their heads into their bodies. Terrifying fist light exploded, shattering the defensive treasures of the monks and sucking in their nascent divinities. "Don't be so arrogant, Ling Xiao," the second holy son said, thrusting his palm toward Ling Xiao. Behind him, black godlight swirled as an enormous imperial tomb appeared. Crack! With a loud bang, the Thearch's tomb seemed to have cracked open. A skinny hand reached out from the Thearch's tomb and merged with the second saint's hand. It became dark and dangerous, containing a deathly chi that could devour all life. Boom! Golden lightning burst out from Ling Zhao's fist light and clashed with the second holy sun. Instantly, heaven and earth trembled as countless lightning bolts charged toward the imperial tomb behind the second holy sun. Ling Xiao stomped his foot on the second holy sun's chest. Bang! The second holy sun's expression changed slightly. His arms glowed with black light as he tried to block the attack. However, a crisp sound was heard as his arms were fractured. Ling Zhao's foot landed on his chest, causing him to spit out a mouthful of blood as he flew backward. "How can you be so strong?" The second holy sun's face was pale, and his eyes were filled with disbelief. At this moment, Ling Xiao seemed to have unleashed his full power. His combat strength was monstrous as he swept through the crowd. Even a group of half-step supremes was no match for him. Boom! Ling Zhao's fist landed, and a vast fist mark shook the void. He wanted to kill the second holy sun. However, a light flashed in front of the second holy sun. Suddenly, a huge jade corpse appeared, exuding an unparalleled ferocious aura. Bang! Ling Zhao's fist landed on the jade corpse, and the sound of metal clashing could be heard. Sparks flew in all directions, and the jade corpse took a few steps back. As if it was enraged, it roared and pounced toward Ling Xiao. Boom! The jade corpse's combat strength was comparable to a half-step supreme being. However, its body was extremely tough and indestructible. It was not afraid of death and was even more terrifying than a half-step supreme being. You're tuning into the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.